All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into session 18 of Trouble in Theondir. The reign of Tyrius has come to a brutal end. Festivity has given way to tragedy, and now the power of shaping the narrative of Theondir clearly lies in the hands of Melathon. Throughout the city, town criers make their way up and down the twisted streets, declaring the news of the past couple of days to a public gripped as much by fear as by confusion. The knot has struck again! Governor Tyrius is dead! The assassins who have been captured have broken free from custody, leaving a path of death and destruction as they have fled from the city. But our salvation lies in Melathon, who has humbly accepted the mantle of authority to lead us, to avenge us, and to usher us into an era of even greater power and prosperity. May Bahamut forever shine his face upon Theondir. A spirit of mourning has settled into the squares of the city, where citizens of Theondir lament the loss of their long-loved leader. Bards, having once believed their songs praising the greatness of Theondir to be complete, have gone back to their musical masterpieces and begun to add new, sorrowful verses about loss and an uncertain future. And it is precisely into this uncertain future that our adventurers now boldly step. After breaching the Sincaria barrier with a flash of green energy, the two boats carrying our heroes continue to cruise on the dangerous rapids of the Dalandal River, with the city walls rapidly disappearing behind them. After about half an hour of rapid transit, the men in the boats begin to guide their vessels to the northern banks, where a group of individuals and horses are waiting for them. One of the figures flags down the boats, and the rowers aim towards the shore. Upon hitting the sandy bank in the slow waters of an enormous eddy, the figures immediately begin to tie up the boats to trees along the banks. Bholen's ring now blazing with intense heat and energy. As you disembark from the boats, you are immediately met by a group of individuals, all wearing dark green cloaks. Two of them, in particular, stand out. The heirs of Sagard. Quickly, we don't have much time. It is crucial that we put as much distance as possible between us and Theondir. Follow us. Traego gestures to the figures around him, and in response they draw over to you the reins of majestic white horses and place these reins in your hands. We ride, Traego barks out with authority, and the horses, as if in a beautifully synchronized dance, begin to gallop with haste in a northwesterly direction. The blazing sun now beginning to near the horizon of the great Falandir plains as Bholen's ring continues to burn in his hand. My adventurers, as you sit atop your majestic horses, galloping out with incredible haste on the tails of Traego and Genevieve, you have but a brief moment to reflect over the whirlwind of events that have happened the past couple of days. Here you are, riding next to one another, to all amazement, alive, and heading towards a horizon that is altogether unknown. My adventurers, what would you like to do?
Can I ask a question real quick, Matt?
Yeah.
We were going, the river went east out of the city, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so we were northeast, now we're riding back northwest.
So you're heading northwest, yep.
Okay.
So you're riding east out of the river, out of the city, heading towards the ocean to the east. Stop your vessels there. And now you're riding to the north and slightly west.
Traego, right? And what was the other one's name?
Genevieve.
Oh, yes, Genevieve. Genevieve, how much longer will we be on our horses? How long until our destination?
We have several hours before we are able to stop. We need to get as much distance between us and Theondir as possible. But Traego has a place he is leading us to that will give us safety and shelter for the evening. It's best that we ride to the plains, though. Out here we are, sitting ducks, prey to any sort of beast or animal or any other force.
Genevieve, you have a lovely tenor voice.
Why, thank you.
Close to baritone.
And if I remember correctly, Genevieve, I recognized as the person we met in Haldir Harbor, right?
In Mittendorf, yeah.
Mittendorf.
Exactly. You recognize her immediately when you see her. She was the one who was charging away.
And do I remember, was she murdering people? Like, was she part of the looting that was happening to the city, or do I
You remember that she was leading the raiding party that came through Mittendorf. So yeah, in some sense, she was responsible for that group. I remember that you guys, in fact, disposed of 5 of her best men.
Right. Who am I riding next to?
Tycho is up in the lead. Jennifer has gone next to him as well. There are 4 other individuals that are riding with you at this point. 2 from the boats. Four total from the boats. And then you've got another 4 individuals as well behind you.
Are we all next to each other though? Like,
yep, all you guys are next to each other. Yeah, and you're kind of there's kind of a bit of a procession here. You guys are in the center, being protected by people in front and behind you.
Is that old guy who broke us out to see with us too?
Yes, that's right. Lamiel is also with you. Thank you for reminding me.
I'm gonna lean over to Traego and just ask him, does Genevieve remind you of anybody that we've seen earlier?
Were you the only one that saw her though, weren't you?
I think so, but I'm asking you if
because I don't
recognize
I thought,
her.
No, have we met her after?
Mm-mm.
We haven't met Tycho or Genevieve yet,
No.
except for I don't.
Okay.
I don't understand.
So I'll ask Traego and Niv. I'll just let them know. Genevieve is the woman who I saw in Mittendorf raiding the city as it was burning. My ring grows super hot whenever she's close by, and it's really hot right now, right? Like,
Yeah.
Can you see it like through my pockets or anything like that?
I mean, you can see it radiating actually through the cloth. If it were pitch blackout, there would be a glow that you'd be radiating. Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's not hot enough to burn the fabric, but you can definitely feel the heat.
What time of day is it?
The sun is starting to near the horizon, so you're pushing on about 6 or 7 o'clock at night. You still got a couple, 2-3 hours before it's starting to get pretty dark.
Can I look at Genevieve and is she eyeing me up? Like, can she sense? Do I get the idea that she knows the ring's there?
Give me a perception check.
Fuck. Ooh, wow. 10.
10.
3 plus 7.
I mean, you can tell that ever since you've shown up, that she seems to have recognized you, and has been watching you rather closely. She's aware that you are in part responsible for the death of her 5 best men.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. You think
Yeah,
she knows that we were the ones in?
Yeah, definitely. You can sense that she has she's not overly friendly to you guys. Tycho, on the other hand, seems to be a bit more positive to the rest of you.
Matt, Sora made it, right? She's with us?
Yes, Sora's with you as well.
Did the people that we're following here, they saw her, they know she's around, they know all of her?
Yep. Are you having her run alongside the horses, or are you having her actually jump up on a horse with you, or?
I'm going to have her kind of fall back a little.
Okay.
Wolf riding a horse.
Do some reconnaissance, checking up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yep.
I think for most of the duration, Traego is basically just holding on to the horse for dear life, trying not to fall off.
Yeah, I do go away.
I want to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Yeah.
And specifically around Genevieve and Tycho and our strangers, if there's any magical presence coming from them, like items that I can tell.
I mean, there's a huge glow from your ring area. There's a glow on Niv as well. And Traego's also emitting a glow. I mean, there's some magic items that you guys have picked up on your journey that are obviously emitting magical essence. Genevieve, there's a sense. Well, I could go to Tycho first. Tycho, there is definitely some sort of magical presence around him, but
can I pinpoint where?
It's sort of an aura around his whole body.
Okay.
The same thing is true of Genevieve, but it is incredibly intense. The magical presence around her is it's impossible to miss. And that same thing, it's an entire aura around her body.
I can tell what kind of magic from this, right? Detect magic, yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of magic are they emitting?
At this point, it's not altogether clear. I have to leave it at that.
Well, that's right. You know, Traego and Genevieve are brother and sister, right?
Yeah, from what you know of them, yeah. From what you heard, brother and sister. Correct.
Bholen, what makes your ring get hot again? Do we ever figure that out?
We don't know. We still don't know.
And when was the last time that it was hot like this?
The last time it started getting hot was at the funeral procession.
Yeah.
I think.
And it had to do with the dead person, the dead people.
Well, or was that your amulet? Your amulet was glowing.
It was Kerrhylon's amulet that was reacting.
Right. Yeah.
Quite intensely, letting off an intense blue glow.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, how about in Mittendorf? Was your ring burning in Mittendorf when we were there during the attack?
Yep.
So it seems that it has something to do with these two, who we found out are like royalty or something.
Genevieve is the leader of the knot.
Yeah,
one of the
Terravan.
So does it get hot with just Tycho, or is it just Genevieve? Or is it both?
I don't think we know yet.
We could test it, but you said they're both right next to each other.
Yeah, they're right next to each other.
Why don't we? Have we thought about just asking them?
We don't know that they have. We don't know that.
Well, considering what we saw in Mittendorf, I'm not sure we should really trust these people.
Okay, I wasn't there, so.
Yeah, you weren't there.
What about my? Is any part of my amulet? No, half of my amulet broke, didn't it?
Your amulet is right now. It's there's nothing happening with your amulet. It's not reacting to anything at this point. You guys are keep riding on for a while here, and after several hours of riding through the long grasses of the plains, you begin to ascend in elevation. And the ground becomes more rocky with more and more coniferous trees popping up around you. And far off in the distance, you see the foot of a great forest that has spilled off of a towering mountain range, behind which you see the faint and misty image of countless other rocky peaks. And eventually the horses come to a ridge where they begin to move single file along a narrow path. Kerrhylon, as you enter the path, you notice oddly that your amulet now, strangely, begins to glow a faint blue. And the higher that you climb up the ridge, the brighter that the glow becomes. And just as the sun begins to drop below the horizon, all of you in the group finally ascend to the top of the ridge. And Kerrhylon, your glowing blue amulet mixing in with the blues, purples, oranges, reds, and pinks of the majestic sunset. And it is at this moment, at the top of the ridge, that you behold an incredible sight. Unfolding below you for mile upon mile is a monstrous open pit mine, the sheer cliffs of which are now blazing as they reflect the setting sun. And in the center of the mine sits an enormous circular stone structure above what looks to be an abandoned entrance to a mine shaft, delving deep into a deathly darkness. Give me a perception check, all of you.
15.
21.
14.
21.
Nice. At least someone's got
Grogil
good
with the keen
perception.
eye.
Yeah.
I got 6.
Traego, what'd you get?
I also
14.
got 6.
14. Okay. Bholen. The rest of you are just overtaken by this incredible sight. But Bholen, you look out across this expansive space above the mine, and you see what looks to be like a dark cloud of smoke wafting in the wind in this vacuous space above the mine. Grogil, you notice the same thing as Bholen, but you're able to actually pick out something more specific. You see, instead of smoke, an enormous flock of birds, black birds, perhaps crows, perhaps something else, undulating in the air like waves upon the ocean.
Okay, am I able to put 2 and 2 together and remember that the crows were the druids?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
All right, I keep that to myself.
Okay, yeah. And as you guys slow down, Tycho notices you slowing and turns his horse around, picks his way back on this narrow path, and noticing this look of wonder and awe on your face, he comes over to you and says, "Yes, the great iron mines of Kalahum, abandoned for generations for reasons that seem to not have made their way into any of our history books. In the past few years, Tirius has been moving forward with his plans to reopen and expand the mines as part of his new vision and great military buildup. But now that Tirius is out of the picture, it seems that these expansion plans will inevitably come to a halt. Fortuitous, for some, perhaps." Yeah, Traego.
What were the iron mines called again? Kalahum.
The great iron mines of Kalahum. K-A-H apostrophe L-A/H-O-U-M. Kalahum.
I was about to guess.
And you don't think Melathon is going to continue this expansion?
I'm not sure of Melathon's plans. Tirius was convinced that this was the future for Theondir. But there have been certain toes that he has stepped on, I think, in the expansion of these mines. Melathon, I don't know his intentions. He's a difficult man to read.
Yeah.
So
We gathered that.
tell us more about Melathon. I mean, you obviously know Genevieve and Tycho. You know about what just happened, why we were there. Obviously, you broke us out. They're obviously not part of you.
No.
They're not. Or are they?
Melathon is clearly not part of us. We are from a different line. Melathon belongs apparently to the line of Silas. His power play here is to try and take over that line, to take power of Theondir and thus to rival King Felwind on the continent. We adhere to neither of these lines. We belong to a third line, and that is what we are pursuing.
What is their connection to, or how they must be closely related to this Sincari then?
Who is? We are.
Well, no. Well, I mean, are you, and how closely aligned are Melathon to the Sincari?
Sincari have been useful at times for us. We have certain contacts in the Sincari. Melathon, the military, it's difficult to say. The Sincari have had a very tense relationship with the military. There's not a whole lot of lost love between them. It's a difficult relationship. Tense.
You mentioned that Melathon was a line of Silas, and you're of a different line. What line are you of?
We come from a third line. Do you know nothing of the history of Theondir?
Do I know anything of the history of Theondir?
You guys have picked up enough on your travels thus far that you do know this. The historic conflict has been between the two lines that have separated out from Heleth and Theldon. The two sons, Silas and Aldian. And from these two lines, initially, once the parents were out of the picture, a great civil war broke out between the two brothers, with the line of Silas leaving with the orb of Sincaris and fleeing out to the island of Falandir, where they established Theondir. The line of Aldian remaining on the continent of Teravin and in the city of Nova Uranos. Now, from that line has eventually come King Felwind on the continent. From the line of Silas now, Melathon is now running the show, apparently. But there is apparently a third line that the Knot claims to be pursuing. A true line, in their view.
Okay.
Who are they?
Yeah.
So if
Or is this a conversation for a different time while we're traveling, or?
Tycho turns to you and says, "We can take your questions later. We still need to get to camp before nightfall. I suggest that we hurry and go as quickly as possible. We need to get to the ruins before it is completely dark."
So can I turn to the other guys and say, look, what else did you guys see out there besides mean, Bholen, you seemed a little transfixed.
I'm just very concerned. Worried, keeping one eye open, knowing that Genevieve did what she did. She's not to be trusted. And therefore, this whole group we definitely should keep our eyes open. Stay frosty, my friends.
And keep your mace in your pants, Grogil.
Yeah.
For now.
I brought some Dos Equis just in case.
So I'm going to whisper to Bholen and just ask if she's so displeased with us. Why did they break us out? We were dead.
And I'm just gonna point to my pocket and kind of give it a little pat, indicating like I think this might have a pivotal part to play.
Can I pull Bholen aside? So Bholen, my amulet's kind of glowing a little bit. I don't know is anything going on with your ring?
Yeah, it's hot as F.
Well, my amulet glows when I'm around undead, so just FYI.
Has it been glowing the whole time that we've been with this group?
No, it just started as we crested this hill and we around this pit.
Okay. So logic would kind of dictate that the lower we go, the hotter your amulet might get.
I would guess. I don't know.
Into this pit of darkness.
What does your ring signify again? Do you remember?
We don't know. I still don't know. I have no idea what this thing does. All I know is that when I put it on, it hurts like hell.
Oh yeah. Man, so is this a pit mine then? Like a huge, big ass hole in the ground? Now?
Yeah, you can see that it's both. I mean, there's been strip mining. It's a huge pit that's been stripped out. But then in the center of the pit, there's also a mine shaft going downward. So it's actually both.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
just need to be very careful. Keep an eye open because we have to assume that they do not have our best intentions in mind.
Yeah.
We have something they need.
Keeping eyes open, very much like Bholen said. Noticing everything. That kind of thing.
And Kerrhylon, in the distance, you hear a faint howl from Sora. It's a sound you haven't quite heard before. It's a bit sorrowful, a bit frightful. Not I guess not too worrying, but there's a hint of some sort of unease in her howling. You can hear in the distance as she's trailing behind you.
Am I able to reach out to her and kind of get a sense of what she's? I can't see what she's seeing, but I can, kind of sense what's going on in her, or try to.
I'll say this, that with your connection to Sora, you can indeed feel that the feelings that you receive is actually a bit more a sense of confusion. Almost like she's been confronted with competing, contradictory inputs, and she doesn't quite know what to do with that. So it's made her incredibly uneasy.
All right, I'm gonna call her back. I'm gonna call her back to me.
Okay. Yeah, she comes along and is running now right next to you, very close to your horse.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep her close to me then. She's not gonna ride a horse with me though.
Yeah. So Tycho continues. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bholen.
Sorry, I'm gonna ride over to Traego, and I'm going to very stealthily slide him a bottle of Theondir Thunder, and just say, "When the shit hits the fan, you know what to do." And that's all.
Do I notice
Hold
that?
on.
I want to be stealthy about it.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand. Okay. Natural 20 plus 2.
Yeah.
22.
Yeah, so Grogil, you are still so captivated by these undulating birds up in the sky, you miss it entirely.
Okay.
He slides it right over to Traego and whispers what he says.
Because I wanted one.
Is this gonna turn me into a fucking elemental again?
Hopefully.
I'm
If we
just gonna
need
wink.
it.
I'm just gonna wink at him.
Maybe it'll turn you into a banana.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. What do you want me to do with this? What does it do?
When the shit hits the fan.
Hold on. Was it your god that turned me into an elemental, or was it a bottle of the Theondir Thunder? What did you do to me? I burned down a wine shop. Like my favorite place on the world.
Let's just say Lathander had all of our best intentions at heart when whatever happened to you happened to you.
I turned into a fire elemental. You turned into a fucking red dragon. Cool.
An ancient red dragon at that.
All right.
And look where we are.
Yeah.
So Tycho continues to lead you guys on, and you continue to ride now past the mines and out of the plains in the direction of the distant mountains. And after a couple more hours of riding, you see the edge of the forest now beginning to rise up. And Tycho slows the pace down and begins to lead the group through the dense sea of green marking the entrance of the forest. The evening darkness now creeping in upon you. And it seems as if Tycho knows exactly where he's leading you. For after another hour or so of determined riding, you eventually come to a slight clearing in the trees, out of which rises the dilapidated and crumbling stone walls of an old military outpost. The ruins are surrounded by towering trees that extend what looks to be over 100 feet in the air, arching together into a canopy akin to the ceiling of a Gothic cathedral. "We make camp here and ride again at first light," Tycho says to you. And the group gets off their horses, the rest of the men and Genevieve, and they begin to work immediately, unpacking the horses, moving into the center of the ruins where they make a fire pit, collect some wood, start a fire, prepare the late dinner, and set up the sleeping arrangements. And you eat a hasty meal of bacon and other meats, enough to get you through tomorrow, and you begin to prepare for the evening of sleep. The other soldiers now lay out their blankets on the ground in a ring around the fire, and they begin to settle in for the night. And Tycho now turns to all of you. "Although we have moved with haste and as much stealth as possible, it will still be necessary for us to keep watch tonight. And preferably," and he now gazes across at you, and particularly at certain of you more than others, "we share the duties together. One of you and one of us." So my adventurers, you're preparing for bed. There are at least three watches tonight. Who would like to take the first watch?
I propose that one of you take the first watch, and then for the first 4 hours, so I can get a long rest, and then
Yeah.
I'll take the remaining two.
So-
Before we go into watch, when we're setting up camp,
Yep.
Can I just ask or talk to Grogil?
Absolutely. Yeah. You step aside, pull Grogil aside. Yeah.
I just want to ask him. You've been up north of the city before. Was it beyond this? Is any of this? You know where we are?
Who are you asking?
Grogil.
No. I haven't been up here. Remind me, have I been up here?
Weren't you up here with the Vidorak Legion, north of the town?
No, that was on the other continent, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, that was way back on the other continent. On
Oh,
Terravan.
that wasn't north of Theondir?
No, it was on Terravan. Yeah. Yeah, so Grogil looks a little confused. Yeah, he's never been up this far north before. So he's just as lost as you are.
Matt, so they want to take watch by twos, one of their person with one of us.
One of them and one of you.
Who-
Yeah.
I'll take the first watch.
I was gonna ask who's taking the first watch of them. Just one of the randos.
Lamiel, the mage who came to the prison, steps forward and says, "I can take the first watch."
I'll take it.
I'll
Grogil,
take.
yeah.
Alright.
If you want, well, Grogil, if you want to take the first watch, I can take the other two.
Can I
'Cause I only
get
need 4
a
hours.
rest in
Let
that?
me take the second one because if we've been for at least an hour, my alertness to danger increases because it's my preferred
Oh,
terrain.
Right.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise I would volunteer to
Well, in
watch
fact,
both.
I can take.
You sure you want Groggle to take the first watch?
Yeah, maybe we don't want. I was going to say maybe I just kind of.
Well, I'll
I mean,
take the
Groggle
first
doesn't have
watch
the
with old
intellect
guy.
to like concoct any schemes. As
Yeah,
long as he
but
doesn't talk
That's
to
the
anybody.
stat that I'm worried about. If like Lemmier says like, "Hey, Groggo, kill him."
I'll take it if you guys
I
want
mean,
me
if
to.
anybody's gonna fuck with him, then
Or
that
Niv.
sucks to be
Niv
them.
also.
Yeah,
Niv
'cause
also.
otherwise I
Niv
can
also
take
is
it with
offered.
the old guy.
Yeah, I can. Groggle, you get a good night.
I'm taking it. End of
Okay.
discussion.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull Lemmier aside and tell him, "Don't say anything to anger him. He will kill you at the drop of a hat."
I'm
gonna whisper to
I've
it.
got nothing to say to him that will anger him. He says, "You can
Perfect.
trust
Uh-huh.
me, and if not,
Alright.
I've got enough of the magical arts to handle him. No problem."
Did I hear that?
No, you didn't. you
Alright.
definitely didn't.
That would have been the end.
All right. I guess I'm gonna get some shut eye.
So am I going to be able to get a long rest in, Matt, after the first shift?
After the first shift, yeah, you should be able to get a long rest in.
So,
The first
ju-
2 hour
just-
shift. Yep.
just before we go to bed, I want to cast suggestion on Groggle.
Nice.
Oh boy.
So he has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. I get a DC of you have 14, 15, 15.
15.
And I am -1. 11.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
fail it. So, before we go to bed, I'll just say, "Be nice." And does this work? Because it's concentration. So then, if I go to sleep,
You go to
does
bed.
it go away?
Oh, that's a good question.
I would think.
I would think so. That would make sense to me that it would go away if you fell asleep. Yeah.
Yeah, it would to me too. So never mind. I won't do it then.
Okay. But you can still say that to Groggle. Be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys begin to make your beds. All the other soldiers have laid themselves out around the fire pit, and they are huddled together quite closely. You're on the opposite side of them. There's some spaces around the fire. You can set down your bedding and get prepared to sleep. Is there anything else you want to do before you fall asleep?
I don't think so.
Have we eaten?
I guess
Have we eaten?
I do. have
Yep. You had a dinner
question,
of bacon and meat, so you've been nourished. Yep, you're feeling okay now.
Does a ritual spell? It still takes a spell slot, right?
If you do ritual casting, where you can actually take 10 minutes to do the ritual, then it doesn't take a spell slot.
It doesn't. Okay.
No.
Matt, this group will they let me kind of bed down a little away from the group, just kind of off, maybe in a tree line or something?
Yep. If you want to, I mean, so the ruins are kind of in this clearing, and like maybe 50 feet all around you, there's the tree line where it's incredibly thick foliage and brush and everything.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to have Sora kind of
No.
stay awake.
Yeah. And we do
Okay.
not have.
Where are you
any-
heading out to the east side, north, south, west? Where do you want to bed down on the woods there? Just so
What's
I know.
the closest? Whatever direction the closest tree line is. I mean, I want to be right.
Probably northeast. You're
Okay.
probably about 35, 40 feet away.
Okay.
Matt, as we're getting ready to bed down, I want to ask Tycho, what should we be worried about in this woods? Is there anything besides just the normal wildlife here, or is there something else we should be worried about?
Giant spiders, centipedes.
I've never encountered anything beyond the normal beasts. Nothing incredibly dangerous. But you never know. There are moving bands at times that come through these areas. So we do need to keep our eyes open.
Okay. Do I believe him? Is he
Give me a
in whatever?
sorry. Help me out here.
Insight, right?
Insight. Thank you. Gosh, it's been 5 weeks here.
Ooh, that's not good. 9.
9. I mean, yeah, he seems pretty believable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we don't have any money left, right?
I think the
Nope.
money was the only thing
We
that
don't
was literally
any
taken.
money.
Yeah.
Do we have any gems for spellcasting and stuff? Or do they
I
take
believe
all the...
some of you have. One of you has a few gems.
Yeah, I thought so.
I think they might be with
Yeah,
Kerrhylon.
I think all that stuff got saved. Just money is gone.
Because we did have that bag of gems
I don't
that
think
I
I did.
stole from Kerrhylon, and I still had. But I'm assuming the actual bag of just like random gems is gone.
I got that bag has been gone for a while. At least I haven't had it for a long time.
Yeah, I stole it from you like 3 episodes ago. So
So who's taking third watch? If no one's taking third
I
watch,
can.
I'll take that.
I mean,
Well,
I will be up after 4 hours, so
yeah.
The first watch will be 2 hours approximately. So, Nib, you can take the second if
Okay.
you want.
Mm.
and I'll take Kerrhylon take
yeah,
the third.
that's
I mean,
fine.
again,
Okay.
I'll be
Yeah.
up regardless if one other person wants to be up.
So you guys start to get your bedding and you start to lie down and get by the fire. The fire's still burning nicely, giving off some decent heat. Kerrhylon, you go off a bit to the northeast and find some soft spots to lay down and make a bed for the night close to the forest there. Sora is still very close to you, still uneasy, unnerved. There's something that's set her off. She's not doing very well. So she's lying extremely close to you, nudging up against you, in fact, while
All
you
right.
sleep.
You know, I'm going to cast Speak with Animals and find out what's going on in her head.
Okay. You find out from Sora that she sensed something from the mine. A sense of darkness and death. But what was confusing to her is that she felt the same thing coming from you as well. And she doesn't know how to handle this contradiction, particularly the master she loves, who's also sending these strange, unsettling vibes to her.
When I get that sense from her, I want to take my amulet off and maybe set it down over here and walk away from it. And get a sense if she can't tell the difference.
She settles down a little bit, but she's still uneasy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I try to comfort her. I try to tell her that
Okay.
I haven't changed. Something is going. I don't know how I would communicate that with her, but
Yeah.
I'm still who I am.
You put your arm out and drag her close to you, and the two of you are next to each other, sharing your warmth.
I'll feed her and all that. Okay, good. All right. Good. I put the amulet back on.
So as you guys go to bed, Lamiel begins to walk with you, Grogil, and you end up taking a spot a little bit outside of the ruins. At this point, go ahead and give me a perception check.
19.
Okay. It's pretty uneventful. There's not much happening. You don't see anything. You don't notice anything. You can hear the noise of the crackling fire. You can hear the noise of Kerrhylon and Sora as they begin to fall asleep off to the northeast.
I asked Lamiel what's with the crows.
Crows. Yes. Have you not heard of the Druids? The battle between the Druids and Tyrius. Tyrius' expansion of the mines has been entering some rather sacred ground for the Druids, both of the forest and of the plains. And they have had their own fight against Tyrius as well. We are not the only forces in this conflict.
Which side? Whose side are you on? The Druids, or are you aligned with the Druids?
We are not aligned with any of them. We have our own agendas. We have our own history. We have our own truth.
I asked him if he's got any beer.
He reaches down into his pocket and pulls out a flask. He's got some sort of hard liquor. It's not beer, but it's something pretty hard. Passes it over to you.
I take a swig.
So tell me your story, Green One. I sense from you that there is some sort of turmoil going on. Who are you?
I'm Grogil.
I am Groot.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I tell him it's none of his business.
Fair
Not
enough.
in those words, but.
Fair enough. Very well.
Is everybody else asleep?
Everyone else is asleep at this point. At your rather sharp, quick response, Lamiel sort of becomes rather silent, not really wanting to bring up any more conversation topics with you. Is there anything else you want to say to him, though?
Where are you taking us?
We are heading northwest. We are taking you to our headquarters. There is someone you must meet.
Who?
I will leave that to Tycho to tell you.
Where's Tycho?
That is not my place.
Tycho sleeping?
Tycho's sleeping,
crap.
yeah.
Okay, go wake Tycho up.
Tycho sort of like sits up immediately, draws his blade, like ready, like thinking that you've woken him up. There must be something going on, and sees you, looks around, sees Lamiel sort of coming behind you, looking rather embarrassed.
Master, I apologize for him.
Who
Answer
are
his
you?
question.
Who are you taking us to see?
We need answers. We are taking you to see our highest authority.
Name.
Oh boy.
The Ancient One.
Morla.
More information you will have tomorrow when we arrive. My suggestion for you, my friend, is to sleep well tonight. You will need your strength.
Okay. I'll back off.
Oh.
So you walk back with Lamiel, and the two of you now are sort of, walking around the ruins, checking out things. And as you guys are walking around, Traego, as you drift into your sleep, your mind goes dark for a moment. And after what feels like several hours, you open your eyes and find yourself standing in a low-lit room comprised of enormous stone blocks. Far ahead of you, in the center of the room, you see a majestic white stone altar. And standing in front of it, with its back to you, is a figure that you have seen before, that you have met before, perhaps in a dream at another time, in another forest. The figure has its head down, bowed. And just as before, you see its right hand open and hanging by its side. On the back side of the hand is a faint red glow, what looks to be some kind of symbol, like a dragon surrounding some kind of circular shape. And as if by compulsion, you feel your feet moving nearer and nearer to the figure until you are standing within a stone's throw behind it. And you hear a voice. Traego. I've been waiting for you. I have longed for this meeting.
Who are
Creepy.
you?
There's silence. It's good to hear your voice. And the figure stands upright from the bow position and says, "Choose life, for life has already gone before you." And with that, the figure turns to face you. But as he does, you see nothing but a dark void in the cloak as it falls into a pile of cloth at your feet. And everything goes dark.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What was the choose life? As
Choose
has gone
life, for life has already gone before you. And you drift back into a deeper sleep.
But yeah, sure, write it down.
Yeah.
Bholen, in the middle of your trance, you slowly come to at the sound of wind whipping across the ground. And as you open your eyes, you're lying face down, your face pressed against the hard dirt. The smell of smoke and charred soil fills your nostrils. And as you raise yourself up and look around, you're met by a landscape entirely barren and black, like a forest after a great forest fire where everything has been destroyed. You stand to your feet and begin to walk, walking for hours through this wasteland. And finally, exhausted, you collapse to the ground. You're overcome with emotion, and in your despair, a single tear forms in the corner of your eye, rolling off your cheek and falling to the ground. And as it strikes the ground, you see for a fleeting instant a faint glow in the black soil, as ever so slowly a tiny glowing green shoot forms and begins to push its way through the darkness. And everything goes black. Lamiel gives you a nudge, Grogil, and says, "Our 2 hours are up. I'm exhausted. Let's get to sleep." And he heads over now and goes and bends down and shakes Genevieve awake. Genevieve sits up immediately. "It's your turn," he says, and he lies down. Genevieve stands up. Grogil, are you going to go to sleep as well?
Yeah, well, I am, but I'm going to also perform the weapon bond ritual on the Morning Star.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
But otherwise, I just go to bed. I need to rest, get my hit points back.
Yep.
Paul, if you're trying to talk, we can't hear you.
Sorry. So do I wake up or does someone wake me up?
You're still sleeping.
Because I'm second watch.
Oh, hold on. I'll go wake up Paul first.
Okay. Yeah. You go wake up Kerrhylon. Yeah. Absolutely. Kerrhylon, you suddenly see above you, Sora sort of jolts awake, and standing above you is Grogil, shaking awake, telling you it's your turn to watch.
I don't want to go to school. All right, I get up and walk.
Okay.
And,
you join.
I
join Genevieve, and the rest of you go to bed. And Genevieve is standing there. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
10.
10. Okay. Genevieve sees something strange on the corner of the forest, and she says, "Come with me. We need to investigate this." And she begins to walk to the northwest, in the sort of opposite direction that you were lying down.
Okay. All right. I have. I came where. So I was in the northeast.
Yep.
Tree line. Where did she? She's moving to the northwest. Where?
Yeah, she came up and met you, kind of in the north. Yeah, and now you're heading a little bit to the northwest, a bit in investigation. She thought she saw something strange in the woods or heard something.
So as we I'll follow her, but as we do that, I want to have Sora kind of, stay near us, maybe within 20 feet of us, but right?
Yep. Okay. Yep. So you guys walk over here to the side, the northwest corner here of the clearing in the forest, and she looks out into the forest, pauses for a second, looks over, sees Sora running around the other side, stops and listens. It wasn't anything, she says, and begins to walk back with you.
Am I able to hear? This is my preferred terrain. I mean, my wisdom intelligence are up, but
you pause as well to listen, and you hear a faint sound in the distance. Perhaps that what Genevieve was hearing, sort of this sort of kind of crackling noise, and it goes for a couple seconds and then stops. But it's hard to tell what it is. It could just be branches cracking in there. Who knows? I mean, it doesn't sound that unusual.
Sora, what is Sora's mood here? What is she picking up?
Sora is she's fairly at ease, but I mean, still slightly worked up. Sticking close to your side here at this point. Okay. Genevieve turns to you and says to you, "Druid, what is your story?"
My story is long, and I am not as interested in talking about that as I am learning more about you, because there's more to you than what meets the eye, and I'm very curious. You seem very attuned with the world around you, but there's something about you. There's something underneath. I will be honest with you. It makes my wolf unsettled.
What is it that you want to know?
Ooh, how do you and your brother? How do you come about this? What is your background? How did this happen? You don't seem Much older than I am, if not even close to how old I am.
I can promise you I'm much older than you are. For in my veins and in my brother's veins runs also elven blood.
Elven.
In
What
part.
about? And so, what is it? Have you? I sense from my companions that they have encountered you before. I have never. I joined this group, what, 3 days ago?
I do immediately. I recognize your cleric. There is something about him. He possesses some power, some magic that confuses me, that unsettles me. He killed 5 of my best men, but yet Traego is convinced that the story of us of the Knots somehow is interconnected and tied in with him. So I will listen to my brother and obey. But I do not like having him be a part of the group. I do not trust him. But why are you here? Is it not odd that you have been summoned here? Is it not odd that you have been summoned by Melithon, that you have found one another, that you are now here in this place? It seems that there has to be some greater force at work than what we might think, that fate is somehow guiding us, guiding you. Melithon may have summoned you here for his nefarious purposes, but there has to be more that fate has for us than that. Your story does not end there.
I will tell you that my background, my history, where I come from is intertwined with this group, this town, this place, this history that I don't understand quite yet, which is why I stay here. I mean, I am not the type of person to do more than what's needed of me when it doesn't work exactly for me. But I also am the type of person who doesn't shy away from helping those who have tried to help themselves. And I am the type of person who believes in direct communication, and I will tell you that I wear an amulet of my tribe that is wiped out now, but an amulet that is glowing, and it only glows in certain situations, and it's glowing quite a bit now, and I am curious as to whether you know why.
May I see it?
I'll hold it up to her, and
she reaches out her hand. She says, May I touch it?
Yes, please.
She reaches out. She reaches out to your amulet, and as she's about to place her finger on it, she pulls her hand back and says, "I dare not."
Why?
I don't know. I don't feel right about it.
Interesting. I will tell you that the last time this glowed like this was when I was near death, when I was near, just morbidity and not evil so much as death.
Well, then perhaps, my friend, it will be a good tool for you.
Now, lay down. I think I love you. Kidding, I don't say that. All right, well, I'm very curious to see where we're going. I mean, what your plan is. Do you have a plan, or what is Tycho's plan?
We will get more information when we arrive. The Ancient One will have more details for us. The details we do not know at this point.
Do you know also, my wolf is having lots of problems. She's sensing lots of things, and you're elvish. You say you're elvish. What is the sense of this forest? What is this place?
This forest has always been a sacred, safe haven for us. I've never had problems with the forest.
Oh, you're elvish. Okay. I kind of just walk on my own.
As you walk away, she also begins to walk in the other direction and to sort of circle around the ruins. And while you guys are having this conversation, Niv, as you are drifting deeper and deeper into sleep, your mind wanders on a long journey to a city that you do not recognize and to a stone tower that you have never seen before. Eventually, your consciousness lands on a single point, your vision fixed on an ornate ceiling above you. And into your vision comes the faces of a man and a woman that you've never seen before. They are leaning over you, smiling gently, the woman singing a soft song that fills your ears. And suddenly, their faces shift from joy to horror as they seem to be violently pulled away from you. Or perhaps you are violently pulled away from them, as if you enter some sort of tunnel. Your periphery becomes narrower and narrower until the spot of your vision finally disappears altogether in a pinprick of light, and darkness comes over you. Eventually, you two walk around the ruins, Kerrhylon, and you meet on the other side. And time has gone. 2 hours are almost finished. And Genevieve begins to head back now to wake up her brother, Traego. She goes over, shakes him awake. He stands up. Traego, it is your watch, the third watch. And she goes down back to the fire and takes her place behind, by the rocks, the stones.
Do I know who is supposed to follow me?
Yes, I think Bholen said he was going to take the last watch.
Okay. I'll go over to Bholen and wake him up and say, if you need more time, I can take 2 more hours. Because I know you need to commune or do whatever you got to do.
No, it's been 4 hours, hasn't it? So I'm.
Yep, it's been 4 hours. Yep. So
I'm good to go.
You are restored. Yeah.
So
You'll still need a couple more hours. You had fairly relaxing hours on your ride in, so we can say that you began some premeditation then. So even after your watch, I mean, if you're 2 hours of just watching, you'll also have enough relaxation to finish your meditation. Because you need 4 hours of meditation and 4 hours of fairly low activity. So you'll be good after this.
So so Bholen, I'm going to be. I kind of point to where I sat down. Sora will be with me, but my senses are heightened within the forest, and so while I'll be sleeping and resting, I will be available very quickly.
So Traego rises up and walks over in your direction, Bholen, as you stand up from your sleep, feeling rested, feeling restored, having all of your powers come back to you at this point. And the two of you begin to pace around the ruins, checking the periphery. Give me a perception check, Bholen.
God damn it. 15.
15, okay. Yeah. You look around and you don't notice anything out of the ordinary at this point.
Am I with Traego?
Yep. You two are walking next to each other at this point.
I want to pull out my ring. It's still glowing hot, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to hold it out in my hand and just... What does this mean to you? This only glows when Genevieve is near.
Perichoresis.
Para who?
The ring. Perichoresis.
Do I know what that means?
No, you've never heard the name before. Okay. It's the name of the ring. He smiles and chuckles a little bit, and he says, Helge, a crazy old man.
You've met him.
Where did you meet him?
My travels began in Hallendir Harbor. He was the first person I met off of the boat. We had a brief connection. He gave me the ring and vanished.
I haven't seen the man in 10 years. Helge, ever since the dimension has set in, he has been wandering off by himself. I knew he had the ring, though. But he gave it to you.
What is this ring?
The ring... There's a lot of stories about the ring. I don't know exactly
the story. There are other mages who know much more than I do. What I do know is this, that Helge used to be a member of the Sincari, and at some point he came into possession of the ring. For reasons I don't know, he had to leave the Sincari, and it could have been his dementia, it could have been his old age, I don't know. People call him Helge the Fool, but others know that he possessed the ring, and he's been wandering on the island ever since. You met him at Helder Harbor.
He approached me.
What did he say to you?
Well, I will recant what he said to me.
You remember that when Helge
incredible
came up,
memory.
when Helge came up to you in Helder Harbor, he ran up to you and he looked at the rest of your travelers as your servants, and he said, "Finally, the royal line is being restored."
Yes.
And you took his head and you put your forehead on his, and you said, "My friend." And he took your hand and put the ring into it. And then he turned around and ran off, running after a dog, a stray dog, calling out, "My Majesty, my Majesty!" Clearly not entirely of sane mind. And Tycho smiles. From the mouth of fools sometimes comes the greatest truths. Keep the ring safe. The Ancient One will want to see this.
Surely you know what this ring represents. What you may not understand its power, but why is it glowing? Why is it so hot? Why can I not put it on?
That I don't know. It may have some connection to the knot. It may have
Why
some
is
connection to
Guinevere
Sagar.
the only one it burns for? Because that's true, right? When I say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He pauses for a second. The ring burns near Genevieve.
It's the only time it burns.
Have you seen the monument in Central Square?
Indeed, I have. We've been right next to it.
Do you remember what was inscribed upon it?
Oh, something about
Because
yeah,
I keep these
destruction.
words close to my heart. And he goes ahead and recites the whole monument for you.
Yeah.
He knows it by memory. He says, "With the breath of Bahamut, a kingdom is born, whose radiant light will never fade. And though death lies at root of an age long forlorn, the spectrum still hides in the shade. The deep love of brother transformed into hate, where rivers of blood speak of strife. But the hope, the mother, the seal of our fate, destruction, the seeds of new life." The prophecy speaks of our line, the hope of the mother. A girl child born to the line of Findala, our line, the great mother. Through her will come the destruction of the corrupt regimes and the restoration of the true line of Felden and Heleth. Genevieve, in my view, is the fulfillment of that prophecy. She doesn't know this. She's too preoccupied with being a freedom fighter for her people, for the Knot. But I believe it is her. We are the true heirs of Sagar, who is the illegitimate son born to Silas, son of Thelden and Heleth, through the elven mother, Findala. This is the line of hope. This is the line of the future, not the line of Silas in Theondir, not the line of Alden on the continent in Nova Oranos, but this third line, through Sagar and Findala, through the mother. Destruction of the other lines leads to new life. And that rests with Genevieve. But as you know, my friend, this is all under threat now. Melithon has made his move in Theondir, and King Felwind is amassing his forces on the continent. We do not know exactly what is to be done, but we are hoping for some answers. Some answers in you and your friends. The Ancient One will know more. That's why we have come for you. Keep your ring. You will get your answers.
Okay. I'll put it back in my pocket, get up, and continue my patrol.
And as you guys walk a little more, she takes a slightly different, or he takes a slightly different path than you to check out the forest from a different angle. Kerrhylon, as you lie down and fall into sleep, a deep sleep, your breathing slows, your body relaxes. Sleep comes upon you, and after a few minutes, you suddenly awake in a village, an all too familiar village to you. Your home, your tribe. The sun is shining brightly and you are at peace. But after a few seconds, the sun begins to slide behind a dark cloud. Shadow is cast upon the village, and from the corner of your eye, you catch sight of a darkly cloaked figure charging into the center of the village, its eyes burning red like fire in the form of sunbursts that radiate out of the hood. Around its neck is an oddly familiar amulet, swaying with each step in blazing blue. A booming voice echoes from the dark cloud above the village. My unwilling servant, now is your moment of glory. And with that, the figure drops to a knee in the center of the village and slams the amulet onto the ground. And immediately from the spot, an evil darkness of death begins to shoot outward, consuming everything it touches. Grass and foliage begin to turn black. Houses crack and fall. And Dragonborn after Dragonborn bends over with a horrifying cry, their bodies withering as they crumble, sickened and diseased. There's a blazing flash of light, and when everything clears, there lies your village in ruin. Nothing remains but the amulet in the center of the square, its blue light slowly fading. And with this, your vision fades to black. Grogil. As you sleep, your mind is entirely blank.
Shocking.
That is, except for an incredible sense of growing unease that is making its way through your body. Eventually, Tycho comes back and joins up with you, Bholen. Go ahead and give me another perception check at this point. You're entering now the fourth watch. Tycho's going to stay awake with you now.
Natural 1.
Natural 1.
Plus 7, so 8.
Tycho stops, grabs your arm, looks out into the woods. What do you make of this? He points out. And you've been scanning the forest. You haven't noticed a thing. But when he grabs your arm and points out, you notice that off in the distance, moving through the trees, you suddenly catch sight of a soft golden glow of several floating lights. And you're reminded immediately of the mysterious floating lights that you observed in the forest outside of Bitburg on your way to Theondir. And the lights seem to shift and dance playfully, moving from side to side as they traverse an airborne path through the thick forest trees.
Can I follow them?
Yeah, you want to?
I mean, I remember what they were. They led me to that cave, but there was nothing there.
No.
That I could find anyway.
Yeah, so you begin to walk towards the woods, and Tycho, sensing this, grabs you by the arm and says, "What are you doing?"
We're to be on watch here.
I've seen these before.
Where
They're
have you seen these
harmless. They're harmless. On our way to Theondir, they led me into a cave, but there was nothing there. But I got the sense that they wanted to show me something. Follow me. Come with me.
We cannot abandon our post. We are on watch. I cannot leave. We are responsible for all of these lives. You cannot take off into the forest on watch.
I'll wake Grogil. I'm going to go over to Grogil. I'm going to wake him up.
You shake Grogil awake.
Drago, really?
Yeah, right?
Grogil,
Well-
you suddenly wake up, and this sense of unease creeping through your body. Suddenly you wake up, and there's Bholen standing above you.
I stand up and pull out my morning star.
As you would, yeah. Being
It's okay.
woken
It's
from
okay.
your
It's
sleep.
okay. It's okay.
What's up? What?
I need
What?
your help.
Okay. What?
I need you to take my watch.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to tell Tycho. Grogil is now on watch with me, or with you. I need to follow these lights.
He steps back, sort of like looking at Grogil as oh no.
Do it quickly, but do not venture too far in these woods. I'm responsible for you as well.
I promise you, if anything happens, I'll send you a message and let you know. Because I have that ability now.
Okay.
You look so proud.
After my 4-hour rest, I now know how to do that.
So you begin to walk, Bholen, to follow these lights, and you notice that they continue to float deeper into the woods, dancing and moving up and down. But at this point, you notice that there are eight of them in total that are moving around in the background. A very peaceful movement as they float around one another. And after a few minutes of leading you, now at this point about 20 feet into the woods, the lights begin to form pairs where they move in different directions from each other, but still holding next to each other in pairs, where they gradually become entirely still, suspended in time, like distant stars in the cold night sky, peaceful, resting there. Kerrhylon, as you sleep, you suddenly feel a nudge in your ribs. A sharp nudge, and as you wake up, you see Sora next to you with her nuzzle buried into your arm, sort of panting heavy, entirely anxiety-filled. And in your half-sleep, you watch as your amulet now flickers on with a brilliant blue light that begins to shine brighter and brighter and brighter, now filling up the space around you with this incredibly blue light. And Bholen, at the same time, you see a slight quiver in the golden lights, almost as if they blink off for half a second and then blink on again. But when they blink on again, they have been transformed into blazing red fire, like the eyes of a demon. And behind each set of lights, you now see the faces of 4 massive dire wolves, just as they burst out of the darkness and charge down upon you. And I need you all now to roll initiative, and we are gonna go ahead and fight this out. But before we do that, let's take a break and take a pee.
Jesus, you're really amped up about that, man.
No shit.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and take some
level-
initiative here.
Level 6 is, for me, is ability score improvement.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But it could be different for everyone. I don't know. All right, sorry.
All right,
Matt, I
25 to
gotta-
20. Anybody got 25 to 20?
I got 21. Or no,
21. Wow,
Yep.
for Kerrhylon. Okay. Anybody 15 to 20?
Yeah, I got a
Okay.
17.
I got 15.
I got
15?
18.
Okay,
Sora-
so first
Sora got
we
19.
first we have 19 for Sora.
Yep.
Okay, Sora, and then we have Tycho, and then we have Niv, and then we have you said you had what'd you say, Bholen?
15.
15, and what did you have, Grogil?
19.
19. Oh, wow.
No. Shit, my dice moved. 17 it was.
You said 17. Okay, yep. So Grogil, and then we have Bholen. Okay, that means we have Traego, Niv. What do you guys have?
12.
12. Okay.
I had 18.
You're at 18. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You're way
you
up
wrote
there.
me down already.
I did. Yeah, you're right. I did write you down. And you're at a 12, Traego?
Yep.
Okay, so Traego's there. Then the other Genevieve's there, and the other soldiers there, and the direwolves rolled really crap, but they have surprise. Okay, so these direwolves burst out here. You can see them over here on the right side, right over here by Bholen. And they are, all of them, going to come charging out down into you, Bholen, and try to attack you, jump onto you. And all four of them, let's see. Miss. All four of them come at you, and you are able to evade them somehow. In the chaos of all four of them coming out, they sort of hit each other and fall down next to you. You're amazingly able to avoid them. I'm not kidding you. I roll a 4, a 1, a 3, and a 10. Your AC is higher than all of that. Okay, and none of their bonuses help enough with that. So, end of the surprise turn, Kerrhylon. You were woken up by your amulet, and by Sora nudging you in the ribs, and you are going to have to stand up to get unprone. You're over here on the side, so that's half your movement to stand up. Sora's already on her feet though, so you'll be able to send her in when you need to. But there you are.
Where you were sleeping?
Yeah, he was off in the tree line. What would you like to do?
So, how long did it
Way
take
better.
me to understand what's going on? I mean, I'm woken up, I stand up, and I go. I mean,
You hear Bholen let out this cry, and as you jump to your feet, you see Bholen jumping to the side as you see these four beasts. You're not quite sure what they are, crashing through the woods, but you can see that there's like flesh dripping off of them, and they've got these open wounds that are all disgusting. So you immediately sense that these are not normal wolves.
And I obviously see my amulet going crazy.
Yes, your amulet is going crazy. Yeah, at this
How
point,
far?
blazing blue.
And I can see all four of these, or how many do I see?
You can see all four of them, and they are currently within. Let's see, they're all within 40 feet. So Sora's on deck, and after that it's Tycho's turn, and then Niv.
Okay, so. All right, I'm gonna get basically 1.5 moves. Is that the idea?
Get half your movement, so you have about 15 feet. 15 feet
I
left.
mean, when I level up, now I get 2 moves per action.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. Yeah, so you have 1.5 then.
So half
Excellent.
of my move, I wanna run towards them and try to get within 30 feet.
Yep. So you can do that. You're within 30 feet now. Yep.
And then my second action is I want to hold up the amulet. And in Draconian, I want to say, from light to life, from darkness to death.
Okay. You hold up the amulet, and immediately when you say that, the wolves pause for a second, and immediately their heads, their eyes focus on you. You see the burning eyes, and they see the amulet, and they change direction now and start coming towards you. Okay. Sora's turn.
So they're not undead. All right, that didn't work.
Womp womp.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
all right. So Sora's gonna.
Sorry. So your amulet.
It says each undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. I completely forgot that. Yeah. Sorry. I need to make a wisdom saving throw for all of them. In fact. 3 of them fail. 1 of them doesn't.
Okay, so if the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage.
Okay, so 3 of them immediately then turn tail and take off. 1 of them remains by Bholen. So the other 3 are going to turn around and start heading off in this direction.
Okay, so then I'm going to have Sora attack. And when Sora attacks, I then get another attack.
Okay, so Sora goes ahead and jumps in. Is she going to try and get the one that's closest to Bholen then?
Yep.
Okay.
There's only one left.
She's able to get up there with her movement. Yep.
Okay. All right. So should I roll for her?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ugh, she got a 7.
Okay, she lunges at this direwolf, but it's able to sort of get to swat her out of the way as she comes close to it. Snarling, it's still facing down Bholen, looking and snarling at you as well. Tycho's turn.
Well, wait a minute.
You get another attack.
I get an attack. I'm gonna shoot it with an arrow.
Go for it. Yep.
23.
23 hit. Roll damage.
What is that? An 8. 10, 12.
12. Okay. Wow. 12. So you pull this arrow and it comes slicing across and catches a massive part of the shoulder, and you can see like the flesh kind of falls off and falls to the ground. This thing is seriously hurt at this point. Okay. Tycho's turn. He's immediately seeing what happens. He's going to charge back into the camp and with a rousing yell, wake everybody up. So now everybody here in the whole crew is going to be able to wake up. I will say this because he's doing it during his turn. You can all jump to your feet, so you don't have any problem with being prone. All of you jump to your feet and you are ready to fight at the cry of Tycho. That will be the end of his turn. And Niv, you are up.
So where am I at then?
So Niv, you are right here.
Okay. And Tycho, when he woke us up, he told us what was going on?
Yeah, he's screaming out. He's going, we're under attack, we're under attack. It's undead, it's undead.
Okay, I'm a long ways away from anything, aren't I? So I, confused by that dream still and a little bit of out of it, I'm just going to head kind of south, turn around, and just try and, look around, see what I can see.
Okay. Give me a perception check real quick.
Trying to figure out, kind of where we are and what's going on. Get out of here, dog. Ooh. Perception, you said?
Yep.
21.
21. You see, when you look south in the woods, you see, also strangely, you don't know anything of what happened to Bholen, but you see these 4 lights that begin to coalesce into 2 pairs in the woods, just out of your stone's throw here.
Okay. Yeah, and I just, from that dream, trying to figure out, like if we're in, are they city lights, lamplighters, guys?
You can tell that it's not, you can tell from that roll that it's definitely not city lights. It's nothing man-made. It's something strange and supernatural. You've never seen lights like this before.
Okay. So yeah, just with being confused and everything, I'm just going to stay there.
Okay. Grogil, you're up. Bholen, you're on deck.
So there's the one wolf, right? Who's
Yep.
pretty hurt. Can I make it to him and attack?
You are at this point, you are 35 feet out.
But before you do that, Matt, I have to apologize. I miscalculated. I did 10 points, not 12.
10 points. Okay, thanks. Good to know. You're 35 feet out.
So is that close enough to attack or not?
What do you have for movement? You have 30 feet there.
My speed is 30.
Yeah, so you'll get within 5. You'll still be 5 feet away. Do you have anything that has reach? Any long weapons?
Well, I'll shoot my crossbow at him.
Okay. Yep. So you turn and shoot off your crossbow. Go ahead and roll that out.
12.
12. So the crossbow comes flying in and gets this thing right between the neck, and you hear it give this yelp as it takes a little bit of sort of just ricochets off it, but it doesn't actually come home.
All right, and then I'm going to take my second attack.
Okay.
6.
6. So as you're fumbling to pull your crossbow and get it started again, you're in such a hurry. You fire off and it goes flying over the head of the direwolf. So, Grogil, you're done. Bholen, you're up.
So there's only one direwolf right now. Basically, the other 3 are running away.
Yep.
How big
The
is
other
this
3
guy? Like, is he like bigger than me, or is it like I know
Yes.
wolves are big, but like how
This is
big?
a large beast. So it's much bigger than you
Like
are.
bigger than a horse?
I mean, about the same size as a horse.
Okay.
Maybe a horse, yeah. That's a good comparison.
Big enough for me to be afraid of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And is he looking at me or is he attacking Kerrhylon?
He's now turned back to you, and his eyes are focused on you.
Okay.
He's getting prepared to leap at you again.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame.
Okay.
See if, what time of day is it? Is the sun rising right now?
Not quite. I mean, you still got a couple hours before sunrise.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'll just cast Sacred Flame.
Do we just have the is the fire going, or do we have torches around or anything?
You have the campfire in the middle is still burning here, so yeah, you've got light from that. That's the only thing you have.
Is that campfire bright enough for people to actually see the wolf?
I would say no, because the ruins are blocking the light. So within the ruins you can see quite fine, but beyond that it's pretty hard to see.
Okay. Yeah. Sacred Flame.
Okay.
So dexterity saving throw.
Light this forest on fire.
16.
Yeah, that works.
Awesome. So he is able to avoid that.
And then I'm going to run away.
Do they take half damage?
Actually, no.
Do they take half damage on Sacred Flame? Is it one of those dexterity things?
Or is it miss it
No,
entirely?
The target gains no benefit from covering. No, there's nothing about half damage on here.
Okay. If you run, he's going to get an attack opportunity.
Yeah.
Your call.
Did Grogil
Yeah,
not run up to the...
Yeah, he did.
He took a couple shots off, yeah.
I'm going to run behind Grogil. I'm just going to get
Okay.
behind him.
Try to get behind him. Yep, 30 feet will get you...
Well, Grogil's right up next to him, isn't he?
Grogil's right here, actually. He
Did he
didn't run
move?
over.
I shot with a crossbow.
He just shot with his
You
crossbow.
didn't move at all?
He didn't move at all, no.
I thought you... Okay. Shit.
You got Sora next to you.
Yeah. Oh, that's Sora. Okay, I thought that was like a rock.
Yeah, you got Sora
Okay.
right here.
Yeah.
You might have save your sorry ass again.
Yeah, I guess I'll just stay put.
Okay.
I'll just stay put.
Traego, you're up, and Genevieve is on deck.
Okay, so... How hard would it be? Where am I located?
You're right here.
I'm right there.
Yep.
How close to that ruins on the upper right there? Like, how hard would it be for me to jump, like, climb up there in one turn? My movement is 30, but I could do my double movement.
Yeah, I would say with your double movement, you could book it on over here to the side, and you could climb up, and you'd be able to get over here on the edge if that's where you'd like to be. Right here.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
And see, that was 30, and then I can use dash. Can I see anything?
I mean, you can look out now, and you see this direwolf that is directly in front of.
Yeah,
Bholen
because
Sora.
I don't have like a night vision or anything. So can I take a shot off at it with my crossbow, my hand crossbow?
If you take double movement, is that kind of your action?
I get my cutting action, bonus action to dash, disengage, or hide. So I use my action and then bonus action
to dash. Yep,
and then
you'll be able to shoot at that for sure.
Okay.
It is within within 45 feet.
Shit, where do I have the information on? I think it's 1D. Shit, I don't know if I wrote down. All right, I'm gonna take hand crossbow. Is not gonna hit. That's gonna be like an 8.
Okay, misses. It flies also over the head of the direwolf, and it's now sort of confused that all these arrows are coming at it from different directions. Now, Genevieve's turn. She's going to go ahead and follow you up, Traego. She sees you running up the side of this, and she's going to join you up here, come up to the top, and also take a shot off onto the wolf. This time she's hitting it, and it's going to strike it into the leg and take up a large chunk of it of its bone. It's down to 3 legs, limping. It's not doing so well at this point. So it was a pretty decent shot. That's the end of Genevieve's turn, and she screams out with the rest of her turn to the rest of her soldiers. Be prepared. Look to the outer rim, and so all the soldiers now begin to fan out for their turns. They've seen these sort of tactics before with wolves and dire wolves. They know if there's one set, there's got to be more coming. So they begin to fan out and getting prepared for any other attack.
Okay. Matt, one question.
Yep.
Do we have armor on?
Were you sleeping in your armor?
Can we sleep in the armor, or is that like?
I mean, if you've got leather armor, I'd say you could sleep in it.
Okay. Yeah, I just have leather armor on, so.
Grogil sleeps in whatever the hell he wants to.
So the soldiers fan
we all know
out.
Grogil sleeps naked.
The soldiers fan out, and Lamiel here is also going to take off in this direction. And he is going to cast a healing spell onto, let's see. Did you take any damage, Bholen? You didn't take any damage. You missed. So he's not going to need to do that at all. He's going to cast a different spell. He's going to go ahead and cast a fireball on this sucker. And let's see. And the fireball lands on top of this dire wolf and begins to burn measly 5 points, which is still pretty good. The dire wolf, those yelping, and it's on 3 legs now, but it's really hurting and suffering. That is the end of Lamiel's turn. Now it's for the wolves. The dire wolf, with the little energy that it has left, is going to try and jump onto you, Bholen, knock you over. Charges you with an 11, and that's going to miss you, I'm assuming.
Right. Correct.
Niv, as you're staring south, now you suddenly notice as 2 more wolves come flying out of the woods directly towards you. And they are going to also get a surprise attack on you. You didn't see them coming. The first one, natural one, is going to miss. The second one leaps into the air. And just as it is almost upon you, Niv, you see that it's suddenly knocked to the ground unexpectedly. And it's wrapped up in what looks to be like glistening white rope.
Spider-Man's here.
And you hear a deafening crack of branches above you and a terrifying hissing sound as you see leaping down from above a giant undead spider.
Oh, damn. What the hell?
3-way fight.
All right?
Ooh, yeah.
And Bholen, you also hear behind you,
Oh, no.
Traego,
Behind me.
as well, a second crash and a second thud as a second giant spider jumping down from this 100-foot high canopy that had been hidden up there lands behind you. And you guys are now surrounded by the north and the south.
Well, I thought you were going to say we're now screwed.
So,
That too.
Matt, did you say that the spider landed on one of the wolves?
one of the wolves is grappled at this point.
Okay.
It's by the spider. Yep, the spider web
right.
wrapped this thing up. So now you've got a giant spider on the north and south of you. And as you look, these things are also like missing pieces of flesh. They look like they're also undead creatures of some sort. And I'm gonna have to throw them into the mix here. And they will get a surprise attack. This one, first of all, is going to go ahead and shoot some webbing at this guy, and he is unable to avoid it, so he's also wrapped up immediately by webbing. This guy up on top, seeing you, Kerrhylon, the closest one to him, is also going to shoot webbing at you. Give me a dexterity saving throw. And you have to beat a 15 here.
23.
23. So the webbing flies at you, but you're able to move just to the side at the right moment. The webbing goes to the ground. The end of the spider's turn. We are back to you, Kerrhylon.
Actually, let me ask you a question, Matt. So the spider, before it dropped down, was it within 30 feet of me when I made the declaration at the first beginning of this whole melee?
When you had your turn, you mean?
Yeah, when I held up my amulet and recited.
No, it was about 100 feet up at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's hitting me from behind.
Yep.
Okay, so I have to basically I'm turning and looking at it.
That's okay though.
Yeah. Am I able to tell? I mean, obviously my amulet's still going crazy, but the direwolves obviously are undead. Am I able to tell this thing is undead too? You said there's like a lot of flesh.
Immediately you look, and it's grotesque. I mean, it's got like flesh dripping off of it. It doesn't look like a normal spider. I mean, it's a giant spider. You've never seen one like this before, anyway. But it looks to be of an undead sort.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing I did before. I'm gonna recite that thing because I can tell it's undead, and I hold up the amulet.
Okay.
So it has to make a wisdom saving throw.
And you have a DC of 15. Is that right?
Yeah.
I rolled an 18, so it successfully makes a saving throw.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna have to shoot it.
So, are those other wolves just gone, or is there a time limit?
Yeah, the other three took off for a minute, and a minute's going to be this combat is going to be over, and this combat's going to be over in like 15 seconds. So they're for all intents and purposes they're gone.
All right, so I'm gonna have to shoot an arrow at it then. Got an 11.
An 11. Okay, that is going to miss. It's going to fly across the spider, and you're as large as it is, you're still missing it. Sora's turn.
Sora's going to have to go after the wolf, and I assume that when I tell her to attack, when I get the extra attack because of that, I have to basically be attacking what she's attacking. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, so then I don't get an extra attack on this spider because I'm not attacking the wolf anymore because Sora's attacking the wolf.
So Sora takes off to the wolf, and goes ahead and gives an attack there, and you spin around and see this happening, and you knock an arrow and ready to fire it off. As Sora comes down, go ahead and give me an attack roll.
She got a 10.
A 10, okay. She also once again comes up short. Go ahead and give me your attack roll for your arrow there.
17.
17 hits. Roll damage.
Kill it.
4.
4 damage. That's actually enough. It comes crashing in, strikes it right in the throat. The beast falls down, entirely dead. Bholen gives out a massive sigh of relief.
Huzzah!
He is, for all intents and purposes, saved. Tycho's turn. Tycho is going to charge, call out for all these individuals to charge now. These two are going to come into this dire wolf, this one as well. The rest of these are going to, this guy's going to come over here and start to cut out his friend. These other three are going to come and charge into the spider. And he's going to come behind them here. Actually, we'll have this guy go into the spider. We'll have this guy, we'll have Tycho try to save his friend. He's able successfully on a strength save. Yes, able to pull him out there. These guys are going to go ahead and attack, all 4 of them. And let's see, we have 2 hits for a total of not bad, 9 damage on the spider. The spider takes one of the legs, gets sliced off, goes down at 9 points of damage. The other guys over here on the dire wolf are going to attack all 3 of them as well. And all 3 of them are going to hit for a total of 12 damage. So that dire wolf is also severely hurting at this point. Falls backwards. Niv, you see your moment, your opportunity. It is now your turn, Niv. Go ahead.
Okay, what can I actually see? Because I'm a human. And you said the sun wasn't up yet, right?
Yep, and the dire wolf is right in front of you. You see that. Obviously, you see this other one next to you, glistening in the starlight. You see the spider next to you. Beyond that, you don't see anything else.
So the one that got wrapped up. It's just grappled. Is it prone or incapacitated? Or anything?
It's prone. It's grappled, so it can't move. It can't attack. All it can do next turn is try to take a strength saving throw to get out of the webbing.
Check something here real quick.
And Grogil, you're up after this, so you can get ready, and then Bholen.
Yeah, I'm over near the top spider more, right?
Yep, you're right over here.
Okay.
So that one that's still standing though is right up against me. So if I move,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
So if I move,
You'll get an attack opportunity if you move.
And these are undead?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You can hear in Tycho's voice he's rather shocked and terrified by this.
Where's Genevieve or whatever her name is?
Genevieve is up here on top of the ruins. She took her perch up there and is at this point safe so far, but within range of the spider for sure.
Okay, so I am actually, since I'm right beside it, I am just going to reach out and do a nice doggy and cast Shocking Grasp.
Excellent. Yeah.
So that is a spell attack. I use. Oh, right there. Never mind. I found it. Oh. Shit. I'm going to use a point of lucky to roll a second.
All right.
There we go. 22.
22 is definitely a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
No, this is on the hurt one or the one that's in the...
It's the one
right here, engaged with
Niv.
Niv. Yeah, okay. Right here. Yeah.
11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. Wow. Okay. Wow. So nice. So the wolf sort of reels back from this spell as this sort of energy goes into its body. You can just see like this bolt of energy kind of kick it off of you a little bit, and it like sort of lunges back towards you again. Go ahead, Grogil, you're up.
All right. So can I get to where Genevieve is?
Yeah, you can climb. You'd be able to climb up next to her. Yeah, if you wanted to.
The amulet glows when there's undead around. Is that what we figured out?
Kerrhylon's amulet is blazing bright blue.
That's what we figured out, but none of
Grogil's not
all of
smart
us
enough
know.
to know that.
Yeah, I don't even know if like I technically would know. Paul, you're muted.
Didn't we talk about it during the funeral?
Yeah, we
did.
That's exactly what I was going to say. After the funeral thing, I told you guys because I figured it out.
Yeah.
It's been glowing since we've been with...
But Grogil wasn't with us during the funeral.
No, he wasn't.
He was in jail still.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so who's up top?
Me and Genevieve.
Genevieve, yeah, and Traego.
But who's near the that other the north spider?
I am.
Yeah, up here you got Kerrhylon is up here. This is Lamiel. Here's a spider.
And then Bholen and Sora.
Over on the east.
Right.
So, Matt, can I use extra attack? 1 second, sorry guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Told me to look at this before.
And also, Eric, I believe you're only able to actually shoot one crossbow bolt a turn.
It says beginning at 5th level you can attack twice instead of once whenever you take an attack up.
Yep, that's because crossbows have the loading feature, so you have to reload it.
That's true. You do have to ratchet it up a little bit.
You can take a feat that allows you to shoot twice with a loading whatever, but I think you can only actually shoot once normally.
Okay. Thanks for fucking me over.
Well,
he missed anyway.
So yeah. I'm gonna run. That spider took damage. I'm gonna run to the. It's not north necessarily, but I'm gonna run as close as I can get to the spider. That way.
Okay. Yep. So you can come right around the building here on the side.
And that's probably it.
That's it. Yeah.
Will you
take an action?
I can't. Well, can I?
Can he?
Yeah, you only move 30 feet, so you can still take your attack if you want to shoot.
Okay, so then I'm gonna. Well,
yeah.
But I didn't reload.
No, you don't have to actually reload. But unless you have the feat, you can just shoot. Like you can't, like with a normal bow. If you had that, like a normal bow, you'd be able to shoot twice. But because a crossbow has loading, that means you can only actually shoot once per action.
But I'll let you take an attack here though. So go ahead and shoot. Roll me an attack roll on your crossbow.
Hold on.
I think
can I cast a spell?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who's in front of me?
You got Kerrhylon right here.
Or you could. Can he use his action or his attack to move more? You can
No,
do
it
that,
doesn't.
can't you?
No, it doesn't say that. No, it says the extra attack.
No,
You have
just
your
your
movement
normal
and
attack.
action. You have your movement and
Yeah.
action. You can use your movement and your action
Thanks,
to
Tim.
dash, I think.
Yeah,
As
you
an
can-
action.
As
Yeah,
an
you
action,
can
you can go
dash.
double your movement. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to just
you can
move
get up
twice your
there,
movement.
you
Yeah,
can't attack.
I want to get right in his face.
Okay,
To protect
awesome.
everyone else.
So you are right in right in front of the spider. Like Grogil comes flying. Oh, his entire movement runs around the corner of this thing and just gets right in front of the spider, like within inches of its pincers, and stops there with his mace lifted, ready to attack.
And
Go
Bholen
ahead.
has thaumaturge.
It's a morning
and
star,
makes
not a
makes him
mace.
fart.
All right, Morningstar. Excuse me. Of course. How could I forget that? Bholen, you're up. Traego, you're on deck.
Yeah, all right. So, let's see.
I'd like to
let's do
point
one.
out now is the time to be thankful that Grogil was saved.
You don't think Timmy could wallop some spiders?
Timmy. I think that was an insult.
Oh boy.
237.
Traego, you're on deck.
Oh, shit.
He's a
How far-
cleric. You should have something specific for this.
I do, but how far away from the spider am I?
You are. The spider is exactly 50 feet away.
I'm gonna go up 20 feet,
Okay.
and I'm going to take out a little strip of white cloth that I ripped from my cloak, and cast Aid on Kerrhylon, Sora, and Grogil.
Okay.
And and Genevieve and Traego. Everyone within 30 feet of me.
Okay.
No. Sorry, it's three creatures. Sorry.
So you
Kerrhylon,
Yeah.
Kerrhylon,
Kerrhylon's
Nib,
here.
Kerrhylon, Sora, and Grogil.
Okay, Kerrhylon, Sora, Grogil. Yep.
Okay, so you each get your hit point maximum goes up by 5, and your current hit points increase by 5.
Excellent. Wow.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
For how long, Tim?
8 hours.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
Shit, that's
Nice.
a month and a half.
So that's
Sure.
why they have a thing that says current hit points. I was wondering about that.
Right.
Traego, you're up.
Okay.
Genevieve's on deck.
Can I use my bonus action to hide to get advantage on the spider?
Yes, I will say that.
Okay, so I have to
Give me a stealth check.
10, but I got plus 10. I have my cloak on, so that's technically I get advantage.
Yep. And
So it's 28.
you beat his passive perception anyway, so you're fine. You're hidden.
All right. So now I have
Man, rogues.
advantage on the attack. It's been a long time since
Yep.
I've done this, right?
Yep.
Okay, so if I hit,
Advantage
I get
on
my
your
sneak
attack.
attack.
You get your sneak attack, which is awesome at this point.
9 plus 6, 15.
15 is enough to just hit.
Oh,
Yeah. So you're able actually able to strike
so-
this thing right between the eyes. It comes across Grogil's shoulder and right into its face.
so
Go ahead and roll me
normal
damage.
attack is 1d6, plus I get my sneak attack, so that's plus 3 more. 46 plus 4.
4d6.
Holy
Jesus.
Like, just when I crit, it doubles my sneak attack, so I would get 66
Holy crap.
bonus.
Oh man.
Oh, that's a terrible roll. 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 4. So I did 13
Dude,
damage.
you just rolled
13.
46 and you.
1,
Okay.
2. Yeah, it was a bad roll.
Hey, that's still pretty good though. I mean, the spider takes a massive amount of damage, like reeling up, and its legs are shaking in the air. Lands back down on the ground and lurches now towards Grogil again. Genevieve is up. She's gonna turn and take a shot at the same spider, and she is unfortunately gonna miss. It flies over the spider. She's a little too cautious, not trying not to hit Grogil. The soldiers now are going to come in and attack as well into the spiders. And over here as well into this dire wolf over here. Let me start with the dire wolf. 3 attacks, and 2 of them are going to hit. And that's enough damage to the dire wolf, so they come and slice it right to the middle. The dire wolf splits into 2 pieces. Blood flies up onto Niv. That thing is done. Over here now, we have got 6 guys who are going to be attacking on this spider. And all 6 of them are going to be slicing in with their swords onto this sucker. And we have 4 of them that are going to hit. Whew, nice. And that spider is seriously hurt. It is really bloodied at this point. It begins to sort of back off from them, actually, because it is so hurt at this point. The wolves are gone. You hear the howling of the other wolves running out through the woods. At this point, the spiders now are going to attack back. This one right here is going to try and shoot some webbing at you, Grogil. Give me a dexterity saving throw. You got to beat a 15 because you're so close here.
Oh. Let's just say I'm incapacitated at the moment.
Okay, so the webbing comes out and wraps around Grogil, and Grogil, you see him fall backwards, glistening rope around him. In fact, at this point, he's having trouble breathing. So we're gonna have to see here. If we don't take care of him in 3 more rounds, he's gonna have to start rolling some damage here. The second spider is going to try and. The second spider is going to try and actually come up into the sky a little bit, shoot some webbing upward and start heading up into the trees. We're going to get about 30 feet up. They're going to get attacks of opportunity as well as this thing tries to escape from them. And, wow, no. 3 of them hit. So as this thing is taking off into the air, the soldiers come from underneath and begin to jab their swords up into it. It's kind of like a Lord of the Rings Shelob thing. And this spider comes crashing down to the ground, dead. And as it hits the ground, this is incredibly important. As it hits the ground, the spider explodes, bursts open. And as it does this, you see what looks to be hundreds of tiny spiders fly out. And they begin to run in all sorts of directions. So these 6 guys need to take dexterity saving throws. If they don't take them, they are going to be poisoned. Oh no! 5 of these guys now are poisoned, and they are going to suffer 1d8 damage from the poison, and they are incapacitated until the poison can be dealt with. Let me roll this out.
Yeah. I'm going to be meta just for a second.
Yeah.
Theondir Thunder.
3 of the guys.
Thought about it.
3 of the guys are dead. 3 of the guys are dead. They take so much damage from the poison. 3 of the guys are dead. So there are 3 guys left, incapacitated on the ground, and the spider's gone. The other spiders, as they exploded, they took off in all directions, biting and anybody that they could, and they take off into the forest. That spider's gone. You have 3 guys down here incapacitated. That's the end of the spider turns. Kerrhylon, we are up to you now again. What would you like to do? Grogil is lying down on the ground.
I can't hear you, Paul.
Okay, so I got 2 shots. I'm taking 2 shots at the spider.
I feel like I'm at a work meeting.
Go for it. Yep.
All right, a 24 and 10.
First one hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
9.
9 damage. So as Kerrhylon, as you pull out this arrow and you knock it, you let it go and it flies, and it is a true shot flying over Grogil's glistening body from the webbing, strikes this thing right between the eyes, and you see the whole body convulse and shake as it falls to the ground, and once again the corpse of this thing explodes. Now all of you, Kerrhylon, Bholen, and let me measure to see here.
I'm protected by the webbing, I would think.
You're protected by the webbing at this point.
What?
The Irish.
Bholen and Kerrhylon, give me dexterity saving throws to see if you suffer poisoning as these spiders fly out and take off into the forest.
Come on.
I got 10.
I also
10.
got 10.
You both fail. Kerrhylon, you take a total of 6 damage, and Bholen, you take a total of 8 poisoning damage.
No, that's every turn they take that, right?
That's initially, and now you are both incapacitated. You fall back to the ground.
What?
You are unable to, or not so incapacitated. What am I saying? You have disadvantage on any attacks and saving throws, any ability checks. The spider is gone though, and all the smaller spiders take off running into the woods.
Do they take any any damage ongoing, or is it just the one?
At this point, from the rules I'm using here, they just take initial damage from the poison, and then they're incapacitated. So they're kind of like groggy at this point until they are able to be healed or have a long rest.
I'm kind of on the ground, like puking or something.
Exactly. So at this point, the spiders take off, or they're dead. Their bodies explode. The other tiny spiders take off. The dire wolves, you can hear them screaming out in the distance as they are taking way off. Tycho begins now to run over, trying to make sure that everyone is okay. What do you guys want to do now? The combat is finished at this point. There are no more lights out in the distance.
Can I tell that Bholen and Kerrhylon are poisoned? Do I know?
I mean, you see they're kind of stumbling. They're groggy. Something happened. You saw them covered with spiders.
Right.
When this body exploded, you saw these just hundreds of spiders take off, crawling all over them. You hear them screaming, and now they're sort of groggy and stumbling about. So something's not right.
I'm gonna climb down real quick and go over to Bholen and like see what. Are you all right? What's going on here? You okay?
Ugh, that spider exploded, and now I feel like shit.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm poisoned, but I don't know
I will give you a vial of antidote that I bought in Theondir. Don't know if it's gonna work.
All right. I'm gonna look at the vial. I'm gonna look at the vial and make sure it's not the vial that I gave him.
Oh, you don't trust me?
Is it? I'm not gonna make a big deal. I just want to make like just a glance, like just double check this is not Theondir Thunder.
Just for the fun of it, give me an investigation roll with disadvantage because you're poisoned. I just want to see how you do.
Natural 20 and an 8. Investigation 11.
We'll say this. You're kind of disturbed, so it's hard for you to really make any judgments at this point. Traego, it's up to you, man. Which bottle did you give him?
I will give him the real bottle.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna waste it on something like so trivial. When I get back at him
for a YouTube video.
Yeah. When I get back at him, it's gonna be epic. It's not gonna be.
Okay.
So, Bholen, you take this bottle and you ingest it, and immediately you begin to feel this healing effect, as you can sense that the poison has been counteracted in your body. You're still a bit shaky from this, but you're okay at this point. Kerrhylon is still not doing great. Grogil, by the way, is suffocating.
Oh. Do we hear him? Is he like struggling?
Yeah, he's running out of breath. You guys have about 45 seconds before he has to.
I look at Bholen.
Death saving throws.
After he drinks, I look at Bholen. Good.
Yes. Thumbs up.
I run over to Kerrhylon, ASAP, give him one more potion.
Okay.
And then I run up to Grogil and I look over at Bholen and kind of just like shrug, like, should we not? I'm going like this.
He puts his hand on his mouth.
It's almost over. It'll be over soon.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna turn my head away and not like whatever you decide is okay with me.
Grogil, I'm gonna give you a strength saving throw at this point because we'll say you've had a turn. You're not at your chair, so I'll roll it for you. You have a plus, I think, 5 or 7 on your saving throw. Is that right?
You should have plus. His strength, I think he said, is 20, so 5.
Okay, I rolled a 17. So at this point, Grogil is able to sort of thrust his arms through, get a knife out of his pocket, and slice his way out of this. So Grogil kind of.
And as I'm running over, I'm like, again. "Oh God, you're safe. Oh, good. You okay?
So Grogil is free.
Eric, can you hear us? You might be muted.
That's all right. We'll tell him he's fine when he gets back. So Grogil breaks his way out, and he's okay.
I have one more antidote potion. I'm gonna run to the other group and see if they're okay.
Okay, there's you run over here to these other guys, and I mean they're not. 3 of them are poisoned at this point.
Is Tycho with them?
Tycho's with them right now as well. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask him how are you guys doing? Is everything okay? I didn't pull the vial out yet, but how are they doing?
You guys there?
He looks to you. Yeah. By the way, you were able to break free from your webbing, Grogil. So you're now took a deep breath.
And I was going to help you
the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, Tycho looks at you and he says, "These men are poisoned. We need help now."
Are they dying?
They're debilitated. They're not doing great.
Poison would imply that. Yeah.
He looks over the body of the three other people who died from the first initial poisoning, and he says, "This is serious. We need to take care of this now." Yelling back to the other soldiers and the other men, "Saddle up the horses now. We need to move. We need to move."
I'll yell for Bholen. These guys are poisoned. Can you cure poison?
In 4 hours, I can. If I can meditate for 4 hours, I absolutely can. I don't have that prepared though.
I mean, I can cast cure wounds, but I don't think that relates to poison.
It's got to be like lesser restoration.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask them how long they have. How long do you think they have?
Hard to say, says Tycho. We're not that far. I mean, we could be at the hideout within 6 hours. No promises that they'll survive the trip. But if we have no other choices, we have to move. We cannot stay here. If I know the tactics of dire wolves, they will be back.
Mm-hmm.
In stronger forces, we need to move. By the way, now
we gotta talk about that. Dire wolves and spiders.
Undead dire wolves.
And I am
indeed. Tycho says this is a disturbing turn of events, a bad omen, you could say. I mean, never before have I encountered undead in these forests.
Okay,
this is the first time I have ever noticed this. Something of great significance has happened. We need to move. There's something sinister at work here. We need answers.
Do I believe?
Hold on. How many soldiers are left?
Give me an insight check, Niv.
Okay.
We have three soldiers who are poisoned. We have 2 others that are fine, and we have Lamiel.
14.
And we have Genevieve. It seems like he's telling the truth, yeah, that he's never seen undead in these forests before. Okay. This is something new for him, and he is a bit disturbed, a bit panicked. Once again, he yells out, "Saddle the horses! We need to move now! Saddle the horses!"
I pull out the vial. I tell Tycho, "This is the last one I have. It's extremely valuable. This can help at least one. I don't know if you want to split it between them, but just know that I'm helping your men as a sign of good faith." And I hand him the vial of antidote, the last one I have. I don't have any more after that.
I thank you, he says. He takes it, grabs it, pours it down one of their throats, and one of them comes back sort of groggy, and he shouts to the others, "We have 2 men down. We need to get these men on. Grab the bodies too. We need to take the bodies with us." And the horses come around, and they begin to saddle up the dead bodies onto these horses, and they themselves start to load up. And Tycho begins to yell out, "We need to move now. We cannot wait a second longer. Come."
What's Genevieve doing?
Genevieve is now running down and joining over here.
As we're getting ready, I kind of like look at the guy that he gave the potion to, or the antidote, whatever. Are you okay? Are you good?
He's a little groggy. He's like, yes,
okay.
I will be fine. Yes.
I'm gonna like look me in the eye. I own you now. I saved your life. Your life is mine. And I just walk away.
We don't have time for these games, he said.
And
then he grabs his horse and starts loading up dead bodies on the horse.
Well, I ask him what his name is. Come up with a name, Matt.
My name is Basaquin.
Basaquin?
Basaquin.
Basaquin? That sounds like something you put on an itchy vagina.
Dude. Basaquin. The itch powder.
For men.
Okay, yep, now I'm getting ready and...
Okay.
Whatever.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Grogil.
I want to make my way back to where Guinevere is.
Guinevere.
I'm going to pull out a dagger and stick it up to her neck and say, what's going on? I see the amulet. I see the ring. Why does they glow when there's undead around? What are you?
And as you take the knife out and you bring it up to her neck, she sees you coming and lifts her neck and throat to you. And when she does that, you notice on the side of her neck
is a strange marking or tattoo of some sort. It's hard to say if it's a birthmark or a tattoo. There's a marking that goes across her entire neck and her back down onto her shoulder. And it's a marking that Bholen, that you noticed in the glimmer of the moonlight in Mittendorf. You noticed something similar. You didn't see what it was, but a marking of sorts on her neck. She lifts her throat to you and says, "Bahamut is on my side. Do what you will."
Do we see this? Like we see him going
You
over
see
there?
him running over there.
Okay. I just yell out to her like, "Don't worry, everything's all right. He's just murderously violent. You're gonna be fine."
A fair warning.
I stick my dagger through her neck. I kill her.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an attack.
Why? Every fucking time.
Just killed the savior of Theondir.
Hold on. I got 2 16s for both my attacks.
Okay. As you begin to strike at her, you take your knife and you begin to lunge it into her throat. And it's as if time slows down. Bholen, your ring now explodes in a blast of light. And for a second, Grogil, you're blinded. As Genevieve steps back like 35, 40 feet from you, jumps backwards, stands back, and you are entirely confused. She stretches out her hand to you, says, "What are you suffering from? Out with it. Out with it." And your eyes, Grogil, flip backwards. Suddenly the whites of your eyes are showing. And you stretch out your hand in return. And immediately shoot
Hold
off
on.
three-
Wait a second. What the fuck's going on here?
You immediately shoot off 3 missiles of light out of your hand, and they fly across and strike Genevieve. She flies backwards onto the ground, taking a total of
Matt definitely planned for this.
Yeah.
9 damage.
I planned for this?
No, Matt did.
Oh, well, I guess. Well, yeah.
The rest of you seeing this happen, turn and see Grogil, his face transform in a way that you haven't seen since Theondir Keep. You remember this moment when you first met Melothon, and his face was transfigured. His eyes rolled back. He became almost a different person. His voice changed. You see the same figure standing before you now again, as Grogil begins to convulse and laugh, and you hear a voice coming out of him saying, "This will be the end of the knot," and he begins to charge her. At this point, the other soldiers now, seeing you charging at Genevieve, also come and begin to grapple you. And I mean, there's like 8 of them. Yeah, they are able to successfully pull you down to the ground. And you hear Tycho saying, "Enough of this! We need to move now! Tie him up! We need to move now!" And Grogil, you are laughing horrifically, horrendously the entire time. None of you recognize him and his voice. Although you've heard the laugh. It was the same laugh that you heard coming out of the prison when Grogil was by himself in his cell, laughing hysterically to himself. The soldiers immediately begin to tie him up. "We need to move. Throw him onto a horse."
Do I recognize as the laugh from my dream, or the voice from my dream?
It doesn't sound like the same kind of laugh, no. But you definitely remember it from the prison, that haunting, eerie laugh. Grogil's tied up. Tycho runs over to Genevieve, pulls out a potion, pours it into her mouth. She stands up. He throws her onto a horse as well. "We need to move now. Let's go. Now. Enough of these games." And he yells for all of you to begin to move.
Oh, Paul, you're muted
Paul,
again.
you're on mute still.
Okay, can you guys hear
All
me?
right, I'm gonna go jump on the horse and.
Yeah, I'm.
I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the horse.
Okay.
Matt, could we break for 5 minutes here?
Yeah, that's a good place. Let's take a little break for 5 minutes, and then we have one little part of this at the end. Yeah. So, all right, guys, let's dive back into this. We just finished off this massive combat with these undead direwolves and these undead spiders, and you were able to successfully come through it. A few people from the knot, however, have perished. Grogil, attempting to get answers from Genevieve, attempted to strike her, attack her, kill her, in fact. But in some strange way, some magical means, she was able to avoid this moving 30, 40 feet in a matter of seconds, as if she had just so transported backwards. Bholen's ring exploding in energy at the same time as this happens. Tycho, entirely fed up with this, cries out for the rest of the soldiers to wrap up Grogil. They wrap him up, throw him on a horse. Everyone else jumps on their horses, and they begin to ride again. Niv, did you have something you wanted to say or do?
Yeah, before we leave, or as we're leaving, I just wanted to check out the tower and the surrounding area, see if any of it reminds me of that dream. You know, architecture, masonry, layout, anything at all.
It's strange because this military building has a similar kind of architecture to the dream you had, but you don't see any towers resembling anything that you saw in the dream. But the architecture is the same, giving you a sense of that it's perhaps from the same era. It's certainly old and ancient. This ruins looks like they've been abandoned for hundreds of years.
Okay. Yeah, and that's just kind of, you know, as we're riding out.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys continue to ride through the forest, and after a couple more hours of leading the horses, you eventually stop. And Tycho and several of the other men approach you all with blindfolds. For the last leg of this journey, I hope you understand. We have things to predict.
I'm not putting on a fucking blindfold.
You're wrapped up in a rope. You don't have a choice.
Oh, that's
man.
right. Never mind.
You're putting on a fucking blindfold.
So one of the soldiers goes over and blindfolds Grogil while he's tied up.
I will. I say I will consent as long as it's Basquin that blindfolds me.
As you wish. Basquin walks over and gently ties your blindfold on you.
As soon as he's done, I'm gonna thank you. That will be all, and dismiss him.
As for the rest of you,
You're having a moment.
Please, we have much to protect.
Fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine by me. After they put the blindfold on, I'm gonna have Lizzo just come up from underneath my hood and poke her little head out, and then I can look. I'll look through her eyes.
Nice.
As we ride.
So Niv, as you ride, you'll be able to see the general direction. Question is if you'd ever remember it, but you follow the general direction that you go. You're blindfolded now.
We're still in the woods.
You're still in the forest. Yep.
Dan, do we know about Niv as a group, or is that I don't even know? Like
What do you mean?
I'm not even. Are we aware of you having the little lizard, Lizzo?
So.
I've used her before.
Yeah, you've used her, but I don't know. Like, if we noticed it.
Some of you saw Lizzo actually be able to make its way through the wall of the Security Academy.
Was I? I don't think I was with you on that one.
Traego was at home reading his book, which had the answers that you needed, essentially.
Okay, so I don't necessarily know about Lizzo. All right.
So as we're riding, though, I mean, is there anything landmark, notable, or anything that I would be able to?
It's hard for you to say. It appears like Tycho knows where he's going, as if he's picking out landmarks. For the heck of it, give me a perception check.
I'm going to use my luck to roll again. Perception, you said?
Yeah, and I'm setting a DC really high here.
15.
15, okay. That's not going to be high enough. You can tell that Tycho is using some sort of markers, but you're not able to perceive and pick up which markers it is he's using.
Forest.
It's for you. It looks like forest. Yeah,
Okay.
but you can tell you rolled high enough. You can tell that Tycho is in fact looking around using some sort of markings. What those markings are, you don't know.
As we're going, I'm gonna kind of call up to Tycho, not super loud. I'm just gonna be like, "We have permission, if we're attacked again, to take off our blindfolds." Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll be the first to take off your blindfold if we're attacked.
We're not like bound, are we? We
No,
have
just blindfolded. Just blindfolded. You're riding your horse like normal. Your horses are being led by the others, the other not members, and eventually you guys ride on for what looks like could be another hour or two. It's hard to say. Difficult to know exactly how long you're riding. But eventually the riding stops, and you feel behind you other knots members coming and loosening your blindfold. And Basquin comes behind you, Traego, and is taking off your blindfold as well.
Thank you,
And
Basquin.
You're most welcome, sir.
Hydroxychlorobasquin.
And as these blindfolds come off of your eyes, what you guys see before you is a sight that none of you has ever experienced before. Stretching out before you is a massive settlement constituted of wooden platform after wooden platform built around massive trunks of majestic trees, the size of which you have never seen before. And each platform is itself large enough to be a village in its own right. The
Yub Nub
trees...
plays in the background.
What's that?
I said Yub Nub plays in the background.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
And the trees with the platforms, they follow an odd kind of spiral pattern that works its way inward to a central tree larger than all the others, with its own majestic temple-like structure built around the towering trunk. And you hear the roaring sounds of water that flows underneath the trees in a series of streams, each with countless waterfalls as the water works its way down the mountainside. Tycho turns to all of you, raises his hand, points at the majestic sight, and says, "Welcome to our home in exile, Areth Fin Dala. You're surely famished at this point. We shall gather some nourishment and strength before we bring you before the Ancient One."
So, a quick question, Matt. Are all these not guys, like, are they human or are they elves?
As far as you can tell, they're human.
Okay.
You've learned, and you've seen yourself in Tycho and Genevieve that you do see some elvish features. So you get the idea that they are something half elf, half human. Everyone else at this point, though, is human. Yeah.
And how many people about?
Well, you've lost 3 of them now. So at this point, you are 4 soldiers, Genevieve, and you've got Tycho, and you have Lamiel.
Yeah, we don't see anybody then?
At this point, no. You see in front of
see
you this massive wooden bridge that extends from the cliff that you're on over to the first of these wooden platform villages up around the trees. And Tycho begins to lead you guys across this bridge, off this cliff, to the entrance of the first platform village. And you see these different various towers built up around here. What appears to be the entrance gate to this. There seems to be only one way into this this various settlement. There's one way in, and then there's these bridges that extend to these other settlements, and they move around in this spiral formation until they come to the center.
So they're way up. So if we're going off a cliff, they're way up high in these trees.
They're way up high in these trees,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, you're talking like 50, 60 feet up. And there's raging water underneath that has a series of waterfalls and different like steps as it comes down from the side of the mountain. So there's this massive amount of water and these trees that burst out of the stone with these platforms about 50, 60 feet up in the air with these massive settlements around them. Single bridges leading from each settlement to the next in a spiral pattern leading to the center.
So is everything on this one level, or like is there stuff down below us and above us?
So on the same level,
top
it's the same
of the
level
tree?
and then upward. So these settlements are built. There's different houses, there's different shacks, there's different structures that are built all the way around. You see some stairways that going around these trunks that are built from this like 60-foot point upward. All of them extending all the way up to the canopies of each of these trees. And now we're talking massive trees, something like 200-300 feet up in the air. Imagine these like massive redwoods almost.
The forest floor. beneath us?
Underneath you, it's water. There's water moving underneath all these trees that's coming down these steps on rocks. So you've exited the forest off this cliff, and now you're into this open area of water that is on the side of the mountain. You can see there are trees all around you, but in this particular area, it's something like a massive river that opened up into this rocky area that is just now flowing water. And out of this, you have these massive trees getting their sustenance from the water.
Does the village look old and like run down? Like, is it like ancient village, or does it look recently constructed?
I mean, it looks like parts of it are fairly new. Some of it looks like it's older wood, weathered wood. So I mean, it's hard to say exactly how old it is, but it looks like it's a village that they've kept up. They've kept building on it. So it could be old. It's hard to say though from the wood, but there's certainly some weathered wood parts indeed. But I mean, they probably changed out a lot of the planks and built new structures as time has gone on.
So is this like a canyon and we can see the other side, or it's?
You can see all the way across this thing. It is like a low area here as the water comes down, like these steps leading down and eventually joining into a river heading off down off the mountainside.
Okay, but then there's another mountain.
You can see the other side. Yeah, you can see on the other side. But this is the only entrance to this village. There's only one way in, unless you try to climb from below and brave your way through the waters. But you can see all the way across. You can see the spiral. You can see the tree in the center. You have a really breathtaking view. And
I asked Tycho, quite impressive. Did you build this, or was this already here?
This has been here since the days of Saegard. This is our original dwelling for the knot.
Okay. And how long ago was the days of Saegard? Was it?
Saegard, yeah.
How long ago were the days of Saegard?
7 generations. Saegard is the illegitimate son of Silas and Findala. He is the original son. He is the line of Silas. So 2 generations after the founding of Nova Uranos on the continent for Theldon and Haleth. 7 generations ago.
But you being an elf, it's only been 1 generation. Because that was your mother, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, it's impressive. Where's the tavern?
He leads you on across this bridge and takes you to the first platform village. And right there, you see that there's a little stable there where all the men are able to bring their horses. Tycho immediately yells for the men to be taken away who are poisoned. At this point, they are barely hanging on to life. So you see them sort of taken off. The bodies are also taken off by some guards who will meet you in the gate here and allow you through. The bodies are also carted off and taken off to be properly dealt with.
And it's like mid-morning now. Sun is up. Right.
The sun is now, just beginning to come up, and you had this beautiful view of this as the sun is coming up. And he takes you over and he stable your horses and brings you, and you climb up this sort of set of medium-sized wooden stairs to a not huge but a medium-sized kind of hut that overlooks the entire area. Yeah.
Is Grogil being carried now? How are we moving him?
Grogil has been set down in the guardhouse.
Okay.
He's not with you guys at this point.
Okay.
Tycho barks out for the guards to watch him closely, knowing fully well that he's not entirely himself.
Right, and I will tell the guards a very generous helping of any alcohol you have would go a long way.
You said he's not himself. Is he still laughing or have?
Yeah,
still
laughing,
still
giggling as he's tied up.
Okay.
Tycho barks out. Get the half-orc some ale.
Yeah,
we need to get him back to some sort of condition if he's going to meet the Ancient One. Get him some ale. Get him some ale.
Get him out of the shakes.
Get him drunk, in other words. And a couple of soldiers run off to the tavern, which is where you guys are actually heading. The inn tavern to get some ale, start pouring down Grogil's throat. And Grogil, at this point, when you get some ale, you begin to sort of like your head becomes less foggy. You begin to settle down, and at this point you are extremely tired. So as you take a couple drinks as you're getting poured down, you immediately fall asleep.
on the floor. At this point, they're not untying him.
Okay. See you guys next session.
Right?
And you guys are able to sit down at these tables, and there's these windows overlooking the rest of this area. And it is absolutely beautiful. You've never seen anything like this. After a few minutes, the food arrives that Tycho has given to you. You're able to eat. And we'll say at this point that Tycho is willing to let you guys have a short rest to collect yourselves after the night of battle. So you have enough time here to sit back, to take a short rest.
About to roll a hit die.
Yeah, do we so we have leveled up then? We're good to
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what.
yeah.
You guys, I'll give you all the benefits
should
of leveling up.
Okay.
Yep.
3
Alright.
hit points.
23, so I should probably I get for a long rest we get half of our hit dice back. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Correct.
I get
Yeah.
4 hit dice. Somebody use one more hit dice.
And Tycho
Well,
also
it's-
orders some drinks, and he also orders some food, and is getting nourishment as well. Still sitting with you all, and he turns to all of you as you're eating, and he says, "Whatever you are ready, we can go to the Ancient One. I do not want to press you. I do not want to force you, but we do need answers, and we need them quickly."
Okay. I think we have a few questions. Who is the Ancient One?
Your answers will come in due time. Come with us. Are you ready?
What assurances do we have
Like
of our safety? We don't know you. We don't know this Ancient One. For all of you know, we're being led to our death.
They just fed us. I don't know why they do that.
So you guys are okay with me being tied up?
You just got possessed.
I want to ask him. You know, this place is old. It's massive. How did the military? How did Melathon never find this place?
For one thing, it is a remote location. Another thing, it is difficult to find. For the third, there is also magic that protects us. Magic that is not infallible, magic that does not hold in all circumstances, magic that can fail, but magic that has thus far been able to protect us.
were we under the protective magic when we were attacked?
Against the entire Sincari Academy?
Yeah.
What?
To you, Traego, he turns and says, I can say this, that it appears that fate is on our side. And is that the case? If that isn't indeed the case, then there's older magic than even I am aware of that is protecting us at this point. He turns to you, Bholen, and he says, with all due respect, my friend, if I wanted you to be dead, you would be dead already. I would not have protected you if I wanted you dead. I would have left you to die with the spiders.
Oh,
the
who said
direwolves.
anything about you wanting us dead?
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about you, with all due respect.
He's got a point.
And
Hansel and Gretel just went into the house.
He sort of bows his head to you, Bholen, and says, lifts his eyes again. The bearer of the ring. You are the hope. The knot. That is what I believe.
And I just break
Your
it. What
story
about the
continues.
fucking rest of us?
Yeah.
I don't know the rest of your...
You say
I don't
he's
know the
the
role
hope.
that you have to play in this story. But I do know that this ring that Helge passed on to you, he did it for a reason. It is somehow tied to us.
Tycho,
need
as
to
much as it pains me to say it, our friend that you have tied up does also have a role to play in this. And if it's as important that I see this Ancient One, I would suggest it's also important that we include him. Even if he's tied up, he should be in attendance.
Thank you.
I think we should.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Yeah.
And I want to, if I can, just pull Kerrhylon and Traego aside and whisper something to them.
persuasion.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, what do you want to say to them, Niv?
I want to say he keeps talking about the ring and Bholen. We've got nothing. There's no guarantee here for us.
Well,
I rolled a 15, by the way.
Okay.
You just
I have no reason to think that they're trying to kill us and not Bholen. I don't know.
I'm gonna whisper back that we have Bholen. They seem to hold him in some regard.
Yeah.
You just need to keep that, I guess, as the status quo. That he's our ticket right now, so we just got to make sure that he's what they want, who they want. As soon as that changes, we might be fucked. So one of us.
I think the risk of going with them outweighs kind of the lack of knowledge and information we're going to gain. So,
I mean, I don't think we really have any choice either.
Hey, and I'll turn right now. I'll turn to Tycho and say, Tycho, when do we get to see Greywater?
You've heard that name before as well.
Yeah.
Greywater is a turncoat. He's a traitor.
What?
Well, who is he turncoat to? The Knot or Melisandre?
He is a turncoat to himself. Clearly, he has been playing both sides against one another. He is no longer welcome in the Knot.
Wow.
So, what the hell was his... Hold on here, I'm looking through my notes. He had another name.
He was Tanglebriar, wasn't he?
Yeah, Tanglebriar.
Yeah, he's the one who commissioned that egg, right?
Yeah. So, is he known to you as Tanglebriar, or is he known to you as...
Greywater.
Greywater.
He's known primarily as neither of those. I know him as Tanglebriar. I've heard the name. Greywater's also familiar, but we know him fundamentally, primarily as Harrington. He used to be one of us. He used to be close to us. He, in fact, used to be close to my sister. But there was a falling out. We trust him no longer. He is no longer welcome among us.
Well, yeah, I should think, though, that falling out, was that with your sister, you said?
Yes.
Was it a romantic falling out?
In part, a romantic falling out. But Greywater has always had these ideas of grandeur. He had his vision of what the Knot should be. But that was not the vision that we share. That was not the vision that I have. That was not the vision of Sagard.
Okay.
His methods were always too violent, too radical.
So you're saying she's single?
Have she met the Duke?
Yeah. But my real point is, does he have other followers that agree with him within the Knot?
Indeed, there was a group that broke off from us as well. As you've probably discovered, the Knot is a complex organization. It has many different groups and facets.
So
Not the Knot.
Yeah, they're not the Knot. So in reality, we could not be looking at a three-way conflict. We could be looking at a four-way conflict.
Potentially so. My suspicions are that Greywater hasn't indeed turned to the Druids for help instead. He's found an audience there. He's found someone who will help him there for his own ideas, his own goals. But I do not know much about that.
So what about Grogil? Is he coming?
I will tell you this, my friend. I will have some soldiers bring him in a cart. We will wheel him to the Ancient One. And there he can address the Ancient One on his own terms. If he is able to show that he is not going to be creating a disturbance here. Because if that is the case, trust me, there are more than a few bows that will be focused on him. One wrong move, and that will be the end of your friend Grogil. His body will fall to the waters below and never be seen again. So you make that clear to him.
Okay, not gonna help. Also, do we still have that costume?
Who's the
You
last?
do.
Yes.
You
Oh
do.
my God.
We still have the
Put
costume.
it on his head.
We're gonna put that costume. We're gonna get him all drugged up.
Foolproof.
That's the
Listen.
best way. And honestly, when he's drunk and like high, his voice is like an angel's voice. You have to hear him sing.
I am sure of it. I will take your word for it.
Oh,
Tycho says.
I forgot about that.
And he leads you guys over to the gatehouse now, and there are a couple soldiers, and he barks out for the soldiers to throw Grogil's sleeping body, up on the cart. The soldiers are willing to follow you guys if you want him to take them to take Grogil with you, and he's sleeping at this point. You have the costume with you. What do you want to do?
If he's sleeping, I say let him sleep for now. If we need to, we rock the costume and get him lubed up like a motherfucker.
I mean, if we put it on him, do we have to turn the gas on? We can.
Yeah, you can turn
Put
it
it
on
on
a really,
it.
really low level at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah, just a tiny.
Sedate-
Little...
we'll
Hold
sedate
on.
him a little.
Before we do that, I want to take a hit and just like make sure that we're at the right amount. Like just a tiny little bit, like to make sure that like I'm still within faculty. Like
I didn't know they had drugs in D&D.
So you take this bubble and you just
Yep. And just
It's on
turn the
your head,
gas
and
on a
you've
tiny
got it on
little
just
bit.
a tiny little bit, and you can feel, Traego, that life is good.
Yeah.
Life is good. I mean, you're
Alright.
you're able
We're all
to
gonna
think,
be
you're
okay,
able to
man.
walk. I mean, everything's fine, but you just feel good. I mean, hey, what's the problem, everybody?
I thumbs up everybody, take it off, and put it on Grogil.
How's everybody pissed?
Bloop, you stick it on Grogil, and Grogil now is sleeping like a baby with this bubble on top of his head. And you set it to the lowest setting here. You remember it goes up to 11. You set it on a 1 or 2, and it sort of slowly seeps out the gas,
Right.
and Grogil's doing well. Tycho sees all this happening and says, "Okay, it's time. We need to go now."
Like, what? Oh, I'm sorry. You guys, you want to hit? Tycho, you want to hit? Genevieve? Basquin? My boy? Come on.
At this point, Genevieve hasn't. And Lamiel have actually left you guys, so they're not with you anymore at this
okay.
point.
All right, let's
Tycho
go.
says, "Please follow me. It's time. It's time for us to go. Time is short at this point." And he begins to lead you across the bridge. And you see, he eventually leads you across all of these various bridges. You're walking on foot at this point, and you begin to spiral inward. It's not a circular spiral. It's more like an elongated spiral. You kind of take these long trips like this, and you eventually come around, and you go through 7 different platforms at this point, 7 different mini villages. And after the 7th one now, you turn around, and you are now faced with a long bridge facing the largest of all these trees, with this massive canopy extending far into the sky. And there's an elaborate single wooden bridge that's carved on this incredibly fancy carved wood, leading all the way up to a massive wooden door, also ornately carved in all these sort of beautiful designs, Celtic kind of designs. And he leads you up to the door. And as you approach this door, the door swings open by itself on its own power. Tycho leads you inside of the trunk of the tree, and you're now entering this tree. And as you enter the tree,
As we're
Yeah.
passing these ruins, going into it, I pull Traego aside and I said, "Do you still have those daggers we got thrown at us? The runes look similar."
Oh, I do have. I have just I think I just had the one. Because you got one thrown at you, and I got one thrown at me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, you had one on the
I guess. Good.
Riverside
good
Respite,
point.
yep.
I pull it out and kind of like stealthily, so just me and Kerrhylon can see it.
Exactly the same designs, but now in a fancier, larger version on the bridge. But exactly the same kind of Celtic intertwining knots, and it's repeating over and over again along the whole length of the bridge. Absolutely incredible. It must have taken years to carve it.
Right. As we're walking along, I put the dagger back and I asked Tycho, "Who's your best dagger man? Who's the best with the dagger?"
At one point, it was Harrington.
Oh, that motherfucker! Well, we have a couple gifts for him to return, so if we get a chance, let us know. We'll. I'd like to be one to help you guys take him down.
We will return them to him very quickly.
We
We attempted. We did our best in Vino Veritas. Unsuccessfully, unfortunately.
That was you guys?
Oh.
Oops.
Oh shit!
Oops.
Wait
They
a
have
minute.
really good wine there.
Wait,
You-
was he the captain that entered?
No, because
Traego,
we
were
killed the
you
captain.
Oh, we did.
We killed the captain.
Yeah, sack of flour and powder.
Hold on. What do we
killed
do with the
all
guy
of them,
that I?
didn't we?
What do we do with the guy with the guy that I subdued? Did he go in with? Melathon took him.
Grogil killed him.
Oh.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So we
Oh.
really like their wine. We've been there a few times. Ixnay on.
It's too bad it burned down, right?
Yeah.
On the
two-
You
burger
see a
man.
really serious look come across his face, and he says,
Please God, not your son. Please God, not your son.
the means justify the ends. Every redemptive story has its downfalls. That, unfortunately, is one of them.
So were they like really in league with you guys, the wine shop, or were they just kind of a location that you used occasionally?
Safe house.
Our men came to Invino Veritas, Greywater, or Tanglebriar, or Harrington, however you want to refer to him. That was his headquarters. We attempted to kill him unsuccessfully. He escaped from us.
What happened?
Okay, let's go on. Let's keep going to the ancient.
All right, never mind.
Yeah.
So Tycho says, your questions can be answered at another time. We have more important, pressing matters at this point. He pushes through this door. You enter the trunk. On the far side of this massive cavernous chamber that opens up, you see another door. And he points to it. It's another ornately carved door, and he says, you may wait for the Ancient One behind the door. I will remain here as long as needed. He gestures for you to approach the door.
How is Grogil being transported now?
So the soldiers with
Dolly.
the carts bring Grogil along, and they're right behind.
He's in a
ready to-
wheelbarrow.
ready to follow you, more or less. Yeah, he's in a wheelbarrow.
Okay,
more or less, they're gonna follow you into this room.
I kind of look
How
at
come-
Bholen and Niv and like, should we slap him awake? Should we get him awake, or should we let him? What do you want to do?
I'm just gonna clock him, just slap him as hard as I can in the face.
Go ahead and roll.
And then, before I do that, I'm going to turn the gas up one more notch.
Go ahead and roll 1d4 damage.
You're gonna take the hood off him. You gotta take it off him before you're gonna hit him.
Yeah.
The bubble? No,
it-
no.
You don't need to hit him in the face.
Covers his whole head, doesn't it?
2.
Okay, Grogil, you take 2 points of damage, and suddenly you wake up and from this punch to the gut, and you start breathing heavy, and then suddenly you feel really calm and happy. You're so happy to see Bholen standing in front of you, and you give a wonderful smile to him.
Hey, fella.
Hey, buddy.
And all of you can see that the face, the old expression that was on Grogil before is gone at this point. He's back to his own self, but just a happy version of himself, a happy half-orc, a happy, non-violent half-orc at this point. The soldiers seeing this cut the ropes, the long knife,
Oh, that.
sort
Oh.
dump him out of the wheelbarrow, and he falls down to his knees and stands up. But Grogil, you're feeling really good. You don't feel at all like taking retribution. You're retaliating. You're feeling great. And you're here with your friends.
Is the mask thing still on?
It is, but you don't mind it. You're feeling great, so you don't care about the mask, the
right.
bubble.
You ready to go, buddy?
Oh.
Let's go.
I kind of liken Grogil to B.A. Barabbas, you know.
All right.
I'm only useful when I'm useful.
Yeah.
So as you guys walk towards this door, the door suddenly opens up by itself, and revealing another cavernous chamber. And it's hard to see. There's not so much light as you walk in. But as you begin to step in, you see that the floor is comprised of this series of roots, wrapping around one another that join together in the trunk of an enormous tree on the far end. And the tree's branches extend upwards and form the ceiling, and they run across the entire ceiling, and they're densely packed with foliage, creating this incredibly beautiful room. You've got leaves above you, roots below you, a trunk on the far wall. And as you step into this room, the door immediately slams behind you. And you see the leaves begin to quiver a little bit, and then they go still. And it's silent in the room. What would you like to do?
The guys that were toting Grogil around, they stayed outside?
They stayed outside, yeah.
Okay, so it's just us.
Just you guys, yeah. You're alone in this room. Leaves above
light?
you, roots
Make
below
it
you.
see fine? Is it dark?
There's a slight glow. It's actually coming off, shimmering off the leaves above you. So it's got this really beautiful green kind of light glow, really soft, beautiful light.
Am I able to go over and like maybe kind of touch the walls of these trees? Touch the just kind of feel like try to commune a little bit with it.
You do, and it feels it's real. It's real branches. It's real roots. It's a real tree. It's organic. It's living. And you immediately, when you place your hand on it, you do feel this sort of beautiful, like pulsing energy. And immediately, Kerrhylon, you feel energized. You feel rejuvenated. You feel at home.
Mm-hmm. All right, keep walking in.
Can I cast light and pinpoint like a leaf, like at the maybe close to the center of the canopy that would kind of illuminate the room more?
Yep. As you do that, the room is illuminated, and you see even more clearly the details of the floor with its roots and the branches heading upwards, the foliage. It looks like you're inside of this incredible canopy of leaves coming over the top of you. It's a beautiful sight, and you all are strangely at peace by this. Not just Kerrhylon. It's a very peaceful place.
I guess I'm not gonna. I don't want to be up in front. I want to be a little bit behind. But do we just stand here and wait, or do we have to do something?
I'm gonna keep moving forward towards the. There's like a glow. It's like if it's coming from one place, I'll start moving towards it.
There's a sort of faint glow in all the leaves, but there's also a trunk on the opposite wall from which the roots go to and the branches come out of. Yes.
Yeah, I'll go towards that.
Okay. What do you want to do, Kerrhylon?
I'm just keeping my eyes open, and I'm looking for this ancient one here.
Is there anything on the floor that you said that we're rocking like roots and shit?
Yeah, give me
Is
an
there like a
investigation
marker
check.
or something? Okay.
Give me an investigation check.
Maybe the
Actually,
tree is the ancient one.
Mm.
And plus, what's my investigation? I think it's pretty high. 17.
17. You notice that the roots are intertwining, but there's a space in the center of the room where the roots move a little bit to the side. But you look down and you don't see anything underneath the roots. It's just they're slightly they wrap around a point in the center of the room. But other than that, yeah, you don't notice much.
I'm going to take out my mace and carve, like, in the ground. I'm just going to carve out a tiny little piece of the root and just see if there's any reaction from the room.
As you take your mace and you dig into the roots, immediately the leaves all begin to flutter. And then they eventually slow down and stop.
Okay. So everything's connected.
So I'm gonna go up to the trunk that's in the middle of the room or what have you, and put my hand on it.
Place your hand on it. What are you going to say or do, Kerrhylon?
I'm just gonna listen.
You listen so quietly, and you hear this, what sounds like a inhaling, exhaling.
Mm.
Almost like wind.
Okay. Well.
We're waiting.
Yeah. I guess I'll say we're here. We're ready to listen.
If nothing happens, then I'm gonna call out to Kerrhylon and point out the little spot that I found and ask him if it means anything to him.
Also, Matt, I'm casting Mending on the piece of the root that I...
Yeah. And immediately the root sort of seals up. And Kerrhylon, you still have your hand on the trunk. Is that right? Yeah. You begin to feel this sort of vibration in your hand that started ever so slightly when you set your hand on the trunk. And there's this sense in you, this druidic sense that you felt before. You felt life in pulsating through nature, and now you begin to feel some pulsating energy, life like you've never felt before, and it begins to shake. Your hand begins to move, and as this happens, Kerrhylon, your arm, you feel almost like you're drawn into the trunk, like you become almost one with the trunk. You look down at your hand and you see that your fingers now begin to take on the color of the trunk itself, and it begins to move up your arm as if you're taking on a wooden bark sort of color on your skin as you're holding it. It's nothing that scares you. It's not terrifying to you. It's peaceful.
Are you okay? Do you need help?
Like, this is cool. I mean, it's like I'm communing with this tree.
So we see this and... Okay.
Yeah.
And as it continues up your arm, Kerrhylon, it moves into your shoulder, it comes around your neck, and begins to move down your chest, at which point it comes in contact with your amulet.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a flash of light, and suddenly now the foliage above you begins to draw into the branches. The branches themselves draw into the trunk itself, and you see now as the roots begin to draw themselves into the trunk, and you hear immediately this voice, something like a deep didgeridoo kind of sound. Who is it that has disturbed the slumber of the Ancient One? Identify yourselves.
Do we all hear it or just
You all hear
Kerrhylon?
this. It's echoing through the chamber.
Right, so I'll keep my hand there, and I'll say we were brought here by your servants. We were told to come see you. We were Ancient One.
Is my ring glowing at all?
Your ring is glowing intensely. You hear the voice. What is your name?
My name is. I tell you where I'm from.
Spot on, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
And
I'm Bholen.
Well,
Identify yourselves. He says to the rest of you.
well, you know who I am. My hand is on you. You should know who I am.
Whoa. Kerrhylon.
Yes. Bingo.
I'll say my given name is Traego.
Who are you?
I'm gonna walk over and I'll nudge Niv.
Yeah, I'm just
Elbow
trying to decide if I want to try and lie to this guy.
And you hear him. You hear this voice that continues, and you hear the voice saying, "It is I who am the Ancient One. Are you the ones who have been promised to us?"
We were summoned.
What do
we
you
were
mean
brought
by
here.
What do you mean by promised?
the prophecy? Or are you the ones who have been promised?
Are you seeking a sacrifice?
Are you gods?
If so, it is time for you to prove to me that you are who you are.
I'm gonna take the ring out of my pocket.
Okay. As you take the ring out of your pocket, immediately the floor, Bholen, begins to shake. As you lift the ring up, it begins to illuminate this entire room. The floor begins to shake, and the roots now begin to move on the floor like thousands of enormous pythons slithering through the sand. And out of the roots, in the middle of the floor, this place where the roots kind of moved around, suddenly you see rising up from the floor a large, rich, brown stump about 10 feet across, glowing in hues of yellow on its top. And the shaking stops as the stump comes still. You look on the stump, and carved into the side is some kind of writing, and you can hear the voice as it begins to fade away. Prove yourself.
Yeah, getting Grogil high was a great idea.
Okay, so there's a big stump in the middle then?
Do I recognize the language? Can I read the writing?
It's in Elvish. Does anyone else read Elvish?
Nope.
No. Bholen, you do recognize the writing. And carved into this stump that's glowing, it says, "Every tree is an archive of a twisted past, but through every ring passes a direct line of hope." Wrapped around the stump.
So I'm gonna walk up and put the ring in the middle of the stump.
As you place this ring in the middle of the stump, there's silence for a second. And then a small beam of green light begins to rise up, like a tiny shoot, almost like a plant, rises up out of the center of the ring. And the light begins to emanate and move down the trunk into the floor. And suddenly now the wood, the roots begin themselves to glow this incredible green color, and it moves through the roots into the tree on the far side, revealing now what you didn't see before, but a hollow in the tree, a dark black hole that begins now to move, and it grows larger and larger, revealing this blackness, more black than anything you have ever seen before, blacker than the darkest night sky that you have ever seen. A void that begins to fill the room, almost engulfing all of you, as if you were being swallowed alive by blackness. And deep down in the darkness, you see a faint green flickering. It grows larger and larger until it takes humanoid form. And a voice comes from the flame humanoid. It says, "Peace upon you. You are indeed the hope that we have been waiting for, the hope that fate has brought to us. I, the spirit of Thaezregroth."
Oh. Okay.
Is he still there? Is he? Or
He's still there. He's still there.
Like
This green flame.
the Sagar?
coming out like the green flame? It's coming out from the ring or from this hole?
From inside this hole, yeah, that has engulfed you. This darkness. There is a humanoid form of the green flame speaking to you now at this point.
Is this your ring that I possess?
It was the ring of my mother, and you have brought it back to us.
What power does it possess?
For those who wear it, possesses the power to see truth.
Give it back.
Give it back, says Grogil. He's having a great time.
What truth?
From destruction, seeds of new life. The fulfillment of the prophecy will be revealed in the ring. And now, you, Bholen, possess it. And he turns now and begins to look at all of you. Bholen, if he begins with you. Bholen, he knows your name. You have seen a vision of the end. The question that remains is this. Will you remain faithful to your master? Or will you destroy it all? He turns to you, Niv. Niv, you do not yet know who you are, because you do not know from where you have come. He turns to you, Traego. What you seek has already gone ahead of you. But be weary when you finally arrive. Kerrhylon, he turns to you. Kerrhylon.
Jesus Christ.
And the trunk cracks in half. That's
Oh,
the
shit.
end of the Ancient One. He turns to you, Kerrhylon.
And he says, Kerrhylon, the answer to your heartache is closer than you may think. It follows you. It haunts you day and night.
True.
And he turns to you, last of all, Grogil.
Who just walked away.
And he says, heavy spirit forces at work in you that you do not really understand finds its expression in your anger, your aggression, your bloodlust. You are being overcome, but you will be set free.
I don't want to be set free.
He's got a good point.
You are the
wanna be
ones we have
fired.
waited for. The ring has come to us. You are the ones we have waited for.
Can I step forward and say what, and hold up the amulet and say, what is this?
It is the key to your past.
Oh, fuck.
It is the key to your future.
Blah, blah, blah.
Keep it close to you.
Of course. Okay.
And you see the flame now begins to get brighter and grow. And Sagard now takes on a new sense of urgency. And he says to you all, as you have seen, there is a new evil on the move. The gods of old have now become the servants of death. The orb of Sincaris is under threat. The vambraces of Silas and Aldian are being sought after. The hunt is on, and when these three forces are possessed and unified, there is no telling what may happen and where such power will find its limit. You have been sent to us for a reason. You must prevent this impending disaster. Ildrox is one of the few who knows of the disappearance of the Vambraces. He was present in one of the three parties of the Great Schism. He alone can be your counsel at this time. I, the spirit of Sagard, will never be far from you, but you must nevertheless walk this path alone. And with this final word, the flame in the darkness slowly begins to fade. The hollow of the mouth of the tree begins to shrink until its size is that of a mere fist. The branches in the trunk once again extend outward and upward, and the leaves return to the ceiling, creating the soft blanket of green above you. Once again, it is both dark and silent in the room, with only the sound of the wind and the creaking of the trees remaining.
Can I take the ring?
You can lift the ring up at this point. Still glowing, still hot.
I want to.
All right.
I'm going to put it on.
Okay.
Let's see if it feels any different.
Give me a Constitution check.
And no.
Wah-pa-pa-pa-pa.
Check or saving throw?
Sorry, Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Even better.
Whoa, that's cocked. Ooh.
And I'd actually say, given your discussion with Sagar, do it at advantage.
All right. That's even worse. 12.
Oh, okay. Give me a few seconds with just Bholen.
Yeah. And you're dead.
Bholen, you place the ring on your finger. At this time around, though, it doesn't hurt you like it did last time. When you place the ring on your finger, immediately it's as if the world around you becomes a shade of gray, and everything now slows down to almost a crawl. You see the same things around you. You see the people around you, but they're moving at slow motion, incredibly slow. And you're still able to move. You look down at your hand, and your hand is emitting a green aura. You look at your friends, and they're also emitting a green aura. Except for Grogil, who's emitting a reddish kind of glow. And in this state, you move around like normal. You're able to walk around your friends. And you hear a voice. In the meeting of three, light made free. In the meeting of three, light made free.
Okay, I'll take it off.
You take the ring off, and immediately, shoo, the room comes back to you like normal, and you're standing there holding the ring. No damage taken to you.
Okay. Eric is surfing the web.
Good.
We're
I don't
good.
think Eric-
We're
I don't
waiting
think
for
Eric
Grogil.
knows.
Grogil's still like in his bubble, like.
You put your headphones on.
Motherfucker. All right, man.
So we'll give you 1 second here. The rest of you see as Bholen puts this ring on, and immediately, it's as if he disappears from your vision. You feel this wind as it feels like somebody is sprinting around you in circles, but you don't see him anymore. And then suddenly, poof, he reappears on the other side of you, standing there, holding the ring in his hand.
Really? Lord of the Rings? You couldn't come up with anything original?
No, it made him the Flash.
Oh, okay. That too.
That's
I'm
a cool
so
trick.
That was cool.
Can you do that again?
What's happening? What's going
So does
do
he
that
have
again?
it? Does he have it on when
He's
he
holding it in his
stops?
hand now.
No,
He
I
took
took
it
it
off. And as soon as all you guys saw was suddenly poof, he poofed back into sight, into your vision, and he's holding the ring in his palm now. He's not wearing it.
That's gonna come in handy.
Can do it again? Like seriously, can you do it again?
Put it back on. And then
Give
I'm
me
gonna run
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
with advantage or no?
With advantage, yep.
11.
Okay. Same thing, Bholen. Same exact experience.
Then I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna take it off when I'm behind Traego.
Okay.
And tap him on
Traego.
the shoulder.
You watch as Bholen lifts his finger up with a sort of grin on his face. He takes the ring, puts it on his face, and then whoosh, you feel this wind in front of your face. And suddenly you feel someone tapping on the shoulder. You turn around and look, and there's Bholen standing behind you, ring in his hand, tapping on the shoulder.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Can I have a go? Come on, I've reached my hand up. Can I have a go?
Yeah, I'll give it to Traego.
Okay. Traego, give me a Constitution saving throw.
With advantage or not?
No, not for you.
Okay, what's my con? It's not great. 12.
Oh, okay. You haven't tried this before, have you?
Nope.
This is your first attempt at the ring.
Yep.
You guys see Traego put the ring on his finger, and it's like his eyes roll back in his head. He takes the ring off, sets it back in his palm, and Traego, you take a total of 3 damage, psychic damage. It's as if you've been jolted awake, and you feel this pain in your body, and you sort of grasping the ring in your hand.
Okay, do I know that I do that, or is it just like I put the ring on and then I come to?
Yeah, you blacked out, for all you know.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Not for
I've
me.
put the ring on before. Let me try it.
Nope, only one person at a time. No, it's mine.
Okay.
It's mine.
Bholen, is there a reason that didn't work on me? Does it only work for you?
As far as I am, it only works for me.
So what happens? Is it just you become invisible, or you transport what?
Does time slow down, or do you just move really fast?
Both.
Well, that's
I
a
think.
good question.
Yeah,
Theory
I
of
think
relativity.
It depends. Yeah, it depends.
which
From which
frame of
perspective,
reference are you
yeah.
using?
Okay.
It looks like when I put the ring on, it looks like everything slows down, but I'm moving really fast.
Okay, so if you put the ring on for like a month and walked across the continent, it would still take you a month in your time.
I will have aged a month, but you will only have aged a moment. I don't know.
Huh.
Benjamin
Yeah,
Buttons.
I mean, do we see what happens when you have the ring on and the amulet? Are we still in that room? Like the
Yeah, you're still in this room.
Yeah.
And at this point, the leaves are beginning to lose some of their glow. They're getting a bit darker at this point.
Get
All right,
out.
well, get out. So first things first, what do we tell Tycho and Genevieve? What do
I
do
want
they
to know. The ancient one didn't answer shit.
No.
Neo's
Really,
not,
anything.
He answered 0 questions.
Neo's not the one.
Neo.
It'll take a second.
Yeah, I know who Neo is. My character has no idea who Neo is.
Yeah.
Your character wasn't alive in 1999 when the
Yeah.
Matrix came out.
Nor does he know Latin.
And so, Matt, we heard when the spirit of Sagar was telling us each of those things.
Yep.
We all heard them, right?
Yep. You heard it. Yep. Each and
So
every one. of them.
Bholen's was about destruction.
It was about a choice.
That's
Right.
Yeah.
So
Mine was about my quest.
mine was about finding what I seek, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a chance. I was like halfway writing it down, but I didn't really get enough. Grogil, what was yours about?
Drago's gonna get some therapy.
Yeah, something
Oh
like
yeah,
bloodlust.
we gotta find out who you really are, bro. How you doing with that mask? You mind if I take a hit?
You're doing great, Groggle.
Yeah, I can't say no.
How long does the gas last after
We gotta
he takes
go
it off?
get more cartridges.
I mean, you
Also,
got it set on
where did
2.
this regulator come from?
Yeah.
You got it set on 2 at this point, right? So I mean, you probably got a good 2 days with on
Yeah.
2. You guys bought
Like-
what? You got 4 cartridges, 5 cartridges. How many did you get?
We got several. I got
From Yenfire? Yeah, you got quite a few.
Well, like once he takes it off, how long is it until the effects wear off? Is it instant?
Several minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So before we go back out there, agree to stay the course for the time being until we find something better, maybe, or at least figure out what the fuck is going on.
It's very evident that we have stepped into something much greater than just some basic security for Melathon.
Yeah, obviously, bearer of the ring. Do we need to bow down to you, or like Neo?
Yes.
How does that work? Okay.
You're the Duke. I am the King.
All right. Well, I'm the one with the
High,
man.
Fucking high.
You're the martyr.
Always remember to bring a towel.
I'm the Patsy.
You're Frodo.
Yep, I am Frodo.
1, 2, 3. Well, we need a couple more people, but we could almost get to the 9.
Okay, so
I think we have a lot more questions.
Yeah.
Probably for Tycho and Genevieve.
I think they need to start coming up with some answers for us before we proceed. Agreed?
Yes.
yes.
I mean, we can't just blindly step into a 3-way war for the survival of the continent.
Possibly 4-way war? Yeah, we have no idea.
Humanity?
And apparently
Everybody
we are
has-
the chosen.
Yeah. Everybody has different opinions on how the continent should be proceeded.
We need to visit their platform and understand what they stand for. Are they far left or far right? Are they radical terrorists? Who
It
knows?
should be a
And
debate.
Sauron, by the way.
Make Theondir great again.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Again.
Give me that hat. I want that hat.
You think you're great again. Again.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make that
no,
hat. I
we're
need
getting
that.
those hats.
Oh,
We're getting
yeah.
those hats.
Oh, yeah, we totally got to get those hats.
So as
All
you
right.
guys
Oh,
begin to
dog
push out of
piss.
the room,
Just leave it.
sorry.
as you guys begin to push out of the room, the door once again swings open as you approach it. And as you come out of this room, you see now Tycho, who comes running up to you guys, running up to the group. His eyes are wide and excited, and he says to you, "It's good that you've emerged. Hurry, Lamiel needs your aid immediately. Come with me. And he gestures for you to follow him out of this tree trunk, out onto the bridge. Follow me. Lamiel needs your help immediately.
Okay. Matt, can I
He's
call
pushing
time out
me.
real quick? I got one
Yep.
question.
Yep.
Sagar, Tycho, and Genevieve are the descendants of, is it Sagar or the other guy?
Sagar. Yep. Sagar and
Sagar.
Yep.
They are the bastard children of him and some elf woman, right?
Yep. So we can say this:
Okay.
the history that you've understood so far. You have Thaldan and Haleth. They had 2 sons, Silas and Aldian. And Silas had an affair with Findala and had an illegitimate son, which is Sagard.
Okay, yep.
And now the line of Silas continues, the line of Aldian continues, but now we have this Findala enters into the story with Silas, and Sagard is the result of that. And now
The sons of the Silas were like the military arm of Theondir.
Yep,
And
exactly.
was the governor a descendant of
Tyrius?
Silas then?
Tyrius was a descendant of Silas. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's
Yep. And the Eldian Allegiance is the military over on the continent in Nova Oranos, on Terraven.
all right.
Yeah. So you have these 2 competing militaries that come from these 2 competing lines. You have the Knot now, which is the rebel group coming out of the line of Sagard, with the heirs of Sagard
Cool.
in your presence. Tycho now is extremely, I wouldn't say panicked, but he really wants you guys to come immediately. Lamiel needs your help. He keeps repeating over and over again.
All right.
All right. I guess one more thing for you guys. Just remember, you owe us. You need us more than we need you. And then I start like walking towards.
Come with me. You guys hurry with Tycho out of the residence of the Ancient One and across the bridge to the nearest tree village spiraling out from the center. And he immediately leads you up a long wooden staircase of several hundred steps that wraps its way around the tree trunk. This takes you quite a long time until you come to a platform at the top of the tree built amongst the tree canopy. And in the center of the platform, as you come up from the bottom of this into the platform on the last stair, you see a majestic orb, reminiscent of the one in the auditorium of J.P. Franzine's The Overhead. And standing next to the orb, next to it, chanting in a low voice, is Lamiel. He sees you all entering the platform and he stops his chanting. Hurry! Before the power of the scrying spell begins to wear off, I alone do not seem to be potent enough to bring the spell to its completion. I need your help immediately. Come closer, place your hands upon the orb. And he's extremely excited at this point, gesturing for you to come place your orbs along with his
bro.
on your hands onto the orb.
Neil,
Come,
do you know what this is? What is this? I'm a little hesitant. That's my this I
Dude,
got.
so am I.
okay. Arcane,
After what happened to
do we know
JP?
do we know what's happening?
It's a scrying spell. I need your help immediately. It's a scrying spell. I am not able to I'm not potent enough to make it work on my own. I need additional help. Please,
Okay.
come.
Real quick,
What can you
do I
give to
understand
me?
what he's saying?
Yeah, you see him. It appears that he's doing some kind of scrying spell. He's got this hand on this orb. He's asking you for your help to contribute some magical power to it. What are you guys going to do?
I'm gonna look at him and say, I'm feeling very generous, but you owe me as well. And I put my hand on the fucking orb.
Quickly, what can you contribute? What can you? The rest of you, I need help. What can you contribute to the spell? Magical power, anything. Potency, energy, magic. We need it now. Come.
Someone
help
take
me.
someone take the Theondir Thunder.
So is he the only one in the room?
think
He's
we
there.
just need
Tycho's
to-
next to him. Yeah, Tycho runs
We
in
just
as well.
need the
Tycho
casters
also,
to add our.
Tycho also throws his hands on the orb
Yeah.
at this point.
Take the Theondir Thunder.
Okay,
No, I don't think
I'll put my hand on the orb and
Okay.
see
Yeah,
how.
what do I feel when I put my hand on the
Yeah.
orb?
You just feel you feel this once again vibration energy, magical energy, but you don't. Nothing happens at this point. The spell hasn't been successful.
They don't go catatonic or whatever like happened.
No,
in
they don't.
JP's?
They don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. They're still entirely there.
I'm
Yeah.
just
So
gonna
I'm
kind of
gonna
look at
ask-
everybody and like shrug, like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It's all right.
ask them. I'm gonna ask them since they're touching it. Do they hear anything? See
Feel a
anything?
little energy, but nothing.
This is
Just light vibration.
outside of my experience. I have no idea
I'll
what's
put my
going
hand
on.
on it too.
Hurry! The spell is fading. I need a contribution. Anything, any magic, help us. The potency is fading.
I'll
Free...
cast Sacred Flame at it.
Okay.
Oh,
And as Bholen, as you cast Sacred Flame, you see that the orb lights up with a reddish glow. And with that, suddenly, your minds, all of you touching the orb, are immediately whisked away. Through your vision, you begin to fly up from this place, out of the canopy of trees, through the canopy of leaves, directly upwards in the sky above this place, higher and higher through the clouds, twisting and turning as if you're a great eagle in chaotic flight. And eventually now your vision turns downwards, shooting through the clouds, and below you, you see the city of Theondir, from which you fled all but yesterday. And through your vision, you begin to move through the city towards the keep, lowering further and further down until you breach the roof, emerging now in the throne room. The stain of blood from Tyrius is still visible on the floor alongside the throne. And in the center of the room, you see the mysterious orange orb that had previously captured Niv, your attention, spinning rapidly in place on its pedestal, shooting off golden orange bursts of light. And next to the orb stands Melathon, his lips moving as if in prayer or speech. And through the whirling sound of the orb, Melathon's booming voice comes forth. Everything is going according to plan. Tyrius is now out of the picture. Blame has been shifted, and the people of Theondir have cast their allegiance entirely upon my authority. Soon enough, my influence will extend even over that miscreant Ildrox, and in due time, the orb of Sincaris will be in my possession. The city, with its defenses down, will be unable to withstand the invasion. And when the three are finally united, our power will be limitless. And with that, he takes a long and slow bow before straightening up again. My allegiance will forever remain yours, my king, King Fellwind. And that is where we will end for the night.